Welcome, everybody, to the H3 Podcast Live. Today's episode is sponsored by Stitch Fix Men, HelloFresh, and SeatGeek. Next Wednesday is our first live show, and by live, I mean super duper live. There's like layers of live. It's a live broadcast from a live show. Super excited. We are going to be joined by your boy Post Malone during the first live, so I'm super excited. Thank you very much. If you have questions for Post Malone, leave them on the subreddit. There's a thread there. There's also a thread there for Bob Saget, which we're having on a week from today. Was that actually Dan, or was that a soundbite?
I think that was Dan.
So if you have questions for Post Malone on Wednesday or Bob Saget on Friday, please leave them on the subreddit. But enough about what's to be. Let's talk about, or to come, let's talk about what be now. Because today's guest is the extremely talented researcher, video producer, director, filmmaker, and all-around great dude and good friend of ours, the illustrious and wonderful Vsauce3, also known as Jake Roper.
Thank you. That was a very nice introduction.
Let's stop fucking around and wasting time. Tell me about the Model 3.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering how long that would take.
So, Jake,
2 seconds.
you got everybody who watches the show knows that I'm like a huge Elon fanboy. There's only been like 2,000 Model 3s made, and somehow you got in early enough. You got that thing like right away. Do you know how early in the line you were?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I waited in line. Did you guys physically wait in line?
No.
For the Model 3? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even have a reservation.
Wow.
I'm
And thanks for watching the H3 podcast. I was there day of, stood in line. I got it.
Wow.
What?
I thought you did it online. They made you ask to actually stay in line?
Well, if you wanted higher priority, then you physically go in line.
Interesting.
Which was exciting because you've seen like Apple launches and things like that where
Yeah.
people line up forever. This is for like a car that no one's ever driven, and people were lining up.
So tell me about that experience of being there in line.
It was really neat.
How long was the line?
It wasn't too long. I think I was probably in line for maybe an hour and a half. But everyone was just so excited. And they had a bunch of Tesla owners came in with like their Model X's, Model S's, and were showing them off to people in line. It was just really nice.
It sounds fun.
Yeah.
There's camaraderie between Tesla boys.
Oh, for sure.
sure.
I wave. I do the Tesla wave. No one ever waves back.
Sometimes-
But that's the story of my life. in general.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
There's camaraderie between me and everyone. I don't know about if it's reciprocal.
But yeah, so the Model 3,
Yeah.
quick thing. Well, after this, we can go sit in it if you want.
Bro,
Yes.
I need to.
But I love it. So I had a Model S.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate. I had a Model S.
Yeah.
I sold that once I got the Model 3 because the Model 3 was less expensive, a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And it just feels like the future. Whereas when I first got in the Model S, I was like, oh, this is the future. Nay, not anymore. The Model 3 is fantastic.
Well, what's not future? What's more future about the Model 3?
I mean, it's little things like the display is incredibly fast. The whole system is immediate.
Oh.
It's like you can just swipe around. It's like, oh, it feels more future.
The S feels a
Yeah,
little
the-
ancient.
It is a little
on the
slow,
other
right?
ones.
Yeah.
And the minimalist design, I really love, like minimalist modern design. So it's just so clean and beautiful. There's still things that need to be fixed, but in my mind, the only things that need to be fixed are software, not really hardware.
Definitely.
And I love it. I like the fact that it has more range than what my previous car did.
Damn, that's crazy.
And it's not significantly smaller, but it feels smaller. It's not
Right,
like a boat
right.
that I'm driving down the road.
Right.
So I'm a big fan. I would highly recommend it.
I saw a Model 3 on the road for the
Yeah,
first
just
time.
Today?
And I was like,
was it today or yesterday?
yesterday, and I slowed down, and I was like,
Yeah,
dope,
ooh,
dude.
yes,
I was like,
that's
cool, man. You know, yeah, the Model S is really like a boat. Like
It's huge.
I can't even park it because like I don't know where it starts or begins, and I'm always and it's super wide.
Yeah.
When my lease is up, I definitely want to get the 3. And
You should put in your reservation.
do I? Because I still have the car for another 2 years.
Oh, then maybe don't put in your reservation.
Like I'm hoping that I'll be able to get one by then.
You will. I mean, well, I'm not going to say you will. I don't know anything.
knows?
Elon
Yeah.
time is on a totally different plane of existence than human
Yeah.
being time.
Right.
So who knows? They were supposed to be making like 5,000 cars every week by this point, and they're not.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing that's cool about it. And now I feel like I'm just a spokesman for Tesla. Tesla,
too.
if you're watching, please just give me a car
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
That'd
me
be
too.
nice. And everyone here, Hila, Ethan, Shredder.
Yeah, don't be selfish,
Shredder.
dude. In your hypothetical
Shredder really
world where we'll
needs a
get free
car.
cars.
But it's what are we talking about? Oh, yes. So it's $1,000 reservation, right? And then you can get it back if you decide you don't want the car. So
Yeah,
I don't
it's
really see
refundable.
the downside.
I think the Model 3 is a little too flashy for me too. I like that
The
the
S.
Really, you think it's flashier than the S?
the S. Did
You
I mean to
said
say?
you-
I meant strike that. I meant S.
Oh, it's
The S is
flashy.
a little too flashy.
It is. It makes me feel like I should be more important than I am.
It's just
Like
like
I feel
hey,
like a
That
phony when I
also-
drive.
it's one of those cars where it's just like, hey, how's
I
everyone
feel like
doing?
that's why the Model 3 also feels more like future to me because it's like it really shows what it's gonna be because it's like
It's a normalized
more.
car.
It's a normal
Yeah.
car, more affordable, and it's got all the cool features.
Yeah.
Like you
And
don't
that's
need to
what
be rich to
really surprised me about it. Even though the ones that you can only get are like the most high-end model, right? They start at 35,000. The ones that you can get now are basically 50,000, 55,000.
Which is still
Relatively
Really?
inexpensive compared
Yeah.
to other cars in its league, but it's still not as cheap as
It's-
just a normal car.
But
Yeah.
it's like going in that
Yeah,
direction.
but even for a $35,000 car, the differences between the one that I have and the one that will be the mass market version is not that great. And just sitting there like, wow, this is a lot of car for that much money. And the fact that you charge it like a phone blows my mind.
yeah.
It's amazing.
How's the acceleration?
It's pretty good.
Not it's
Not
good enough.
It's good enough. I mean, my face isn't going to melt off,
Yeah.
but that's okay. I kind of
You don't need that.
It's okay.
Yeah, you
This
don't
is
need
okay.
that. Yeah.
But it's also 1,000 pounds lighter, I believe, than the S, so it feels really quick.
A little more responsive.
Yeah, and the turns feel really tight.
Fuck yeah. Dude, sometimes I'm trying to make like a U-turn on the S and I'm like, any other car.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like you're riding a boat. Like you have so much space, you make a U-turn, there's oncoming traffic, and all of a sudden I'm making a 3-point turn in the middle of a busy intersection because I couldn't perform a simple U-turn.
This segment of First World Problems is brought to you.
So upset, dude. I got so angry at having such an expensive car.
I know, it doesn't even turn itself around on a U-turn. Come on, Elon.
it does park itself.
It does.
though.
That is actually really nice.
Kind of shitty. I'm kind of upset with Elon.
You started here, and then it just went
No,
boom.
because, dude,
Tanked.
when I got that car, I was promised autopilot and all these great features.
Oh, did you pay for full self-driving?
Yeah, no,
You
not
poor
full
man.
self-driving,
Okay,
just autopilot 2.0, which still hasn't been updated beyond the basic one that you started with.
Yeah. I mean, it's on relative parity, I think, to Autopilot 1.0. But it will get better. I mean, we got auto wipers, guys.
Woo!
Our wipers can automatically detect rain.
Everyone's just like, all right, get over it, you
Yeah,
obnoxious
get
fucking
over it.
Tesla driving.
I know.
You were able to, but
I hate
just
myself.
you were able to sell the Model 3 or S, right?
Oh, yeah. It sold like immediately, which
Really?
was really nice.
What, did you get a good price for it?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I just wanted it to cover the cost of the Model 3, so I didn't really care.
You didn't lose out.
I
You
didn't
just
lose any
switched.
money. Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
mean, but then my insurance payments are much lower.
Oh, yeah.
The cost of ownership in general is just lower, which is nice for me.
God bless.
You know, trying to save money.
All right. Thank you for sharing that experience.
Yep. I'll see you next time.
And next on chapter 2 of Elon Musk,
Oh,
did you get a boring company flamethrower?
Now I'm just like coming across like some out of touch dude who just spends money on stupid things.
Is that a
Yes, I did.
I regret not buying one.
You should.
I think it's sold out.
It is sold out.
So
When
I
are
gotta buy
people
off
getting
the
it?
market.
you know?
I don't know. Who knows?
We were talking about it. I was like, when people get it, everybody will know.
Because there'll be so
There's gonna
many
be
videos of it.
There's gonna be all these lunatic YouTubers running around with
Yeah.
flamethrowers.
Well, then there's the whole talk about, is it technically a flamethrower? Because the flame needs to be a certain distance long outside of like after the nozzle. And it's not really. It's like a flamethrower in the terms of that it's like a weed burner.
It's a weed burner.
Weed burner that's been attached to a retrofitted airsoft gun. But the reason I purchased it, one, because it's fun, but two, like I actually really like the Boring Company's idea, and this is how they raise capital and like awareness. So if I can be, if I have like $500 to spend, sure,
God bless.
just help a billionaire with another company.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
that thing could be a collectible someday. I wouldn't be surprised.
I just think it's really, it's just a fun thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like to make
What are
fun
you
of or
gonna
belittle
do
people.
with it?
I don't know. Probably reenact
Burn
aliens.
shit
Yeah.
to start.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna burn
Barbecue.
everything in sight.
Yeah.
House first, definitely.
There's gonna be
Can you
so-
cook with it?
Ooh,
That'd be a fun video.
that'd be a fun video. I really just want
There you
to. I
go.
want to turn into Sigourney Weaver's character from Aliens. That was my goal.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine the cosplay?
Such amateur.
Wow, did you not put that on silent?
Embarrassing.
I put mine on airplane mode because I respect you guys.
That's
Sorry, man.
commitment.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's fine.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
my God,
Oh,
what?
great.
Wait, is that Dan?
That's Dan.
Oh my
You
god.
son of a gun.
Dang it, Dan.
That is horrible. I hate that sound.
That ain't right.
This is why your
shouldn't do
parents
that.
got
Dan-
divorced, Dan.
This is not approved.
I don't know if that's true.
Dan, are your parents divorced?
Are they dead? Oh, that was
That
so
was-
bad if they're dead.
Not appropriate.
He's not even saying anything because he's
appropriate.
crying too much. I'm sorry.
You just moved back here from New York, right?
Yeah.
You were working for Beam.
Yes.
How did that
That go?
all,
Didn't go
how,
well.
Yeah, I mean, how was everything? I know many people heard the news that Beam was disbanded, canceled, axed, kiboshed. I don't know why.
I was trying to think of like
saying
a
so
play on
many.
words with beam, but there's nothing.
Beam, more like bin.
Whoa! That one's pretty good. That was not bad.
You just moved the letters around a little bit. Well, how? Yeah. Well, I'm just curious. How? First of all, how are you? You made a big move. You made a big life change recently.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine. I don't ever regret the decisions that I make generally, because it was a learning experience. Like, did it turn out successfully? For all intents and purposes, no. But I learned a lot from it. I like the fact that I was living both in New York and LA, which was like a very nice thing to do. It was kind of fun.
It's pretty sweet.
It was sweet. It's kind of difficult though,
Yeah.
going back and forth all the time.
I hate
Especially
that
like
flight.
because when you're trying to be creative, like focusing all of your energy onto one thing gets a little bit diffused when you have something else that you're supposed to be focusing on, right? I'm sure you guys know that just from all the projects that you work on.
Sure,
Like it's
yeah.
hard
Yeah.
to keep that up. But I think it's fine. I like the fact that we were given the opportunity to do what we wanted to do. We didn't really fulfill that, but I have no real hard feelings or bad feelings. The only thing I was a little upset about was how it was handled. Because basically, like, we're going to tell you, and then, hey, in 2 weeks, like, immediately, basically, everything's changed. There was no ramp-up period to it. It was just this
Yeah.
immediate turnover.
All this. So, tell me about like how did you get the news? Like how did it happen? You said it happened immediately, right?
Yeah, so I woke up to a BuzzFeed article.
You didn't know that there was anything wrong. Everything was great. Beam was going good.
I had a notion or two just from my talks with people that something was up. I didn't think it was going to be as drastic as what had happened. In my mind, it was like, Casey's going to just do his own thing, and that's fine. And we're still going to run as we were for the rest of this year
Right.
and find our own footing. That wasn't the case, obviously. I found out it was actually, so it was my birthday was the day everything was announced.
Oh man.
So I woke up to like all these
Great.
text messages, and they were all like, "Happy birthday! What happened to Beam?" So then I Googled it, and there was this BuzzFeed article because it hadn't been announced to the company yet.
Oh my god.
How does that happen?
That's
That
crazy.
seems so whack.
Well, Casey's vlog about it, he accidentally made public before it was supposed to, and that then triggered the BuzzFeed article to come out.
Wow.
Wow.
And then Casey pulled his video, but BuzzFeed didn't pull their article.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's
man.
insane.
So basically everyone at Beam found out either through Casey's accidental vlog or the BuzzFeed article before they were actually told.
How did you feel when you found out?
So you were reading Beam is being shut down.
Yeah, I was like, I woke up. I
Did
was
you
in my
believe
bed.
it? Were you like, are you sure? Because I don't know. And
I believed it.
Yeah.
I believed it. It was an interesting experience because I was in LA when that happened. So I was just talking to everybody in New York while they were like, oh, we're going up to find out if we still have jobs. And basically everyone was like offered jobs. If they decided to stay, it was up to them.
Really?
Yeah, not
For
many.
CNN?
I think only 3 people in the team were actually let go outside of myself, Casey, and Matt. Like 3 full-time members were actually let go. Everyone else out of the other like 25 people were still offered positions. Yeah, so they they gave people the opportunity to like, hey, you can still grow and build whatever you want to within CNN if that's what you choose.
That's nice.
But for me, it didn't really make sense anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Were you relieved or were you sad by the news?
I'm always sad when you don't get to do what you want. Like when you're not in charge of your own destiny is always kind of a sad feeling for me. But it was something that I had planned. Come April, when my lease was up in New York, I had planned to move back full-time here and just, when they needed me, fly in and help with productions or whatever. But really take a backseat, which is always kind of the plan. I wasn't supposed to be part of the news team forever. The idea was like, Casey and I help set the tone for what the news team is. And then after 3 months, we move on to working on other projects under the Beam banner. And we never got to that point. So that was the main thing. We had a lot of ideas for things that we wanted to create together that we never got to.
Yeah.
And that's always sad, seeing ideas die.
Right. Why do you think that it didn't work out?
Well, I'm also, that sip was 1 for dramatic purposes, 2 to think about what I'm actually allowed to say. I mean, honestly, what Casey said in his vlog about him just kind of disappearing from the entire team is a large part of that. And there's 2 sides of it. I think, 1, people were disappointed because they were kind of promised that, hey, you're going to be making videos with Casey. And that's a
Right.
lot of pressure to put onto one person.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Casey, like, run this whole thing, manage everything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I could just do my own stuff and be more successful at that.
Right.
And I can do anything that I want and not have to rely on other people. And then from that, some people took that as like, oh, we've been abandoned, and they just shut down. Others kind of went with that, like, I'm going to make something myself. But obviously, having Casey as like a figurehead's a very important thing to have, especially when you're trying to gain audience for something. And with that not there, I just think that it seemed less of an incentive to keep it going.
Casey wasn't really involved.
So that
He
was
wasn't in the
just like
videos
a-
towards the end of the rodeo.
Yeah, he was.
Interesting. I guess, was he just not, I mean, I don't want to.
Well, it
can't
just
speak
sounds
for
like
him,
there
but-
was just lots of like confusion about the identity of the.
Yeah, like he was there to
General.
kind of direct us creatively, and he wasn't. And I'm not trying to put the blame on him. I think, like, I was thinking about this a lot, and even seeing it and experiencing it, I do a similar thing where it's easier to be like, okay, I'm just going to separate myself from this. So if it fails, it's not really my fault. Like, I wasn't even a part of it.
Right.
And there is a lot of pressure where, you know, the dude's going from making videos by himself, doing anything he wants by himself,
Right.
to now you have a team of 10 people that you have to be in charge
Yeah,
of.
and CNN's like, okay, this is the new Vice News now. Go get it.
Yeah, we didn't really have, which I think there was a lot of just miscommunications where I remember it was actually a week ago last year that I started at Beam and it was just Casey and I and this other guy and we were just making stuff or like trying to make things. And that was really, really fun because it was just us creating things. Didn't have to worry about anyone else.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, we were just like, hey, we just hired 9 new people. We have to figure out how these cogs fit into this machine that hadn't been built yet. So we were trying to build it around the pieces that were inside where we should have kind of been doing it the other way.
It's really hard.
So I get it. Like, it was just a lot of stress and pressure. And so I get it.
Well, it was a cool experiment.
Yeah, it
you
was
made some really cool videos.
I agree.
Oh, thank
it was,
you.
It was it's a shame, I feel like, because I felt the last video you guys made about cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that
I don't
one was
remember,
so good.
and I was like, man, I felt like kind of just, I don't know, I felt like a little nostalgia already for it being gone because I was like, this was so cool. This was a great video, and
Yeah.
I kind of felt like you guys were maybe just starting to hit your stride a little bit.
I think we had, honestly, in my mind, once the pressure of like Casey needing to be involved was gone, everyone took this kind of breath and was like, oh, we can just do what we want now.
Right.
We're not trying to aim for someone else's guidelines or someone else's vision. We're just going to do what we want.
Yeah.
And I even did, I mean, I'm guilty as well, where I kind of took a back seat and was like, I'm just going to let you guys do this. But then with that crypto mining piece, I was like, you know what? I actually enjoy this. Like Jack, who was in the video with me, let's just go make this ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I had done more of that, then maybe things might be different. I don't really know. But I was never, when I was hired, I was never supposed to be on camera.
Right.
And that's what
Yeah.
really appealed to me was like, I'm going to be behind camera and help run things.
Right.
And not have to be this person who's dictating and directing and like moving you
Right.
through.
It was a different thing. It was
Yeah.
it was a whole new thing.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Like,
Well,
again, I learned a lot.
Your title was the director of production?
Yeah. But I learned a lot from it. And I'm happy for that.
It's a great experience.
Yeah,
On
I'm
paper.
not upset about anything. Like, I learned a lot. I met a lot of new people that I really like. And I mean, we got to even make a video together.
Yeah.
Vape Nation.
Vape Nash, bro. The real Vape Nash.
Yeah.
So I'm not upset about it. I feel bad for I mean, also, I'm very fortunate. I had 2 jobs. I was doing Vsauce and this at the same time. So I lost one job. Oh no, what am I going to do? I'll just move back to LA, I guess.
Continue what you were
Yeah,
doing
continue doing
anyway.
my other job and being able to focus on that more.
Do you
Yeah.
feel inspired at all to continue the journalistic approach now that you've had a taste for it?
Not at all. I don't.
Huh.
It was interesting, and that's again why news has never been my thing. I think it's interesting. I don't particularly like being involved in it because you can't control the story as much. It has to be exactly what's there in front of you, and you need to portray it as realistically and honestly as possible, hopefully. But when it comes to like what I do on Vsauce, I can create a world and like show it to you through my own lens.
Right.
And
It's
you
a more
miss
of
that.
a creative.
It's more filmmaking versus like a documentary capturing
Right,
things.
right.
So nah, I mean, it's all right.
Well, I'm sad because I love that video. I was like, oh, I want more videos of Jake doing investigating shit.
I mean, I wouldn't. Hey, CNN, if you're watching this, which you probably are, to find out
CNN,
if
where
I
the
say
fucking
anything.
money at? And,
Yeah.
And Elon, while you're watching too, where the free
We all need
cars?
Model 3s
God damn it.
and 2 jobs.
By the way, where was it? You guys went to Iceland or
Yeah.
Greenland?
Iceland.
So in this video, if you guys haven't seen it, you guys went to Iceland. Is it the world's biggest crypto farm?
According to the company that has the crypto mine, it is the largest crypto mine in the world. But we don't know.
The operation was so crazy because the reason they set it up was because of the cold weather, and they would save money on cooling their massive mining operation. So they literally just
God.
suck air in from the outside and blow it over their massive servers.
Yeah.
I was so cool to see.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, they say there's a few things. Like, oh, the electricity is more economical. I remember is how he said it. The cold air, they can just, like, pull it in, siphon it out. But then also the government of Iceland is a lot more agreeable to cryptocurrencies, whereas like China, places like that have been cracking down on it.
Right.
Really?
Iceland isn't as severe.
I have to say, when I saw that, I'm like, this is kind of messed up. Because crypto is, I don't remember the exact number, so I'm not going to say it. But crypto mining is actually using like a substantial amount of electricity across the
Yeah,
world.
it's like 0.2% of all electricity generated.
And it's like,
Really?
why?
Yeah.
For like, I don't know, like, just, what are they doing? They're just, it's literally just like burning power. Is there an end to the mining? Like, is all that computing power going into something useful?
I mean, eventually, there's only so much of the different kind of like cryptocurrencies or the altcoins, whatever you have, that you can mine. So eventually there won't be any more to mine, but that's quite a ways away.
But like, what is the computing doing? Because they're like burning power, computing, crunching data on something.
Yeah.
Is it to something useful, or is it just burning energy to the
that's
void?
the whole discussion now, is that the blockchain, the basic infrastructure that operates cryptocurrencies, could be used for other things. It could be used for infrastructure. It could be used for like medical practices.
Crunch
How,
the
I don't
numbers.
know.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely sure. We're actually planning a whole series that we ended up canning about, because it was like, basically, let's learn about this because I don't understand it fully.
Yeah,
I don't understand
I
it
want
at all.
that. I want that
Yeah.
series.
I need to see that series.
I'm just like, what?
Because people always say blockchain. I'm like, what is that though? And they're like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
blockchain's out. What does that mean? It's a digital ledger. What does that mean? I don't know. Like,
So
turn to a
they're-
Seinfeld character.
They're crunching algorithms that solve nothing, essentially, right?
I am not.
Okay, we haven't gone that
I'm
far.
not- I don't know yet.
Make that serious.
Well, I probably sound really ignorant to some people
Yeah,
who know.
I'm sure.
I don't know. The whole thing is so crazy, the whole Bitcoin thing.
Well, I
Are,
think-
are you invested at all?
I do have a little bit.
Oh,
Not much.
Oh, no.
Since we were doing all these things,
Don't
I was like, I
assassinate
might
me.
as well try.
Right.
But yeah, don't try and. There's
what
nothing
coins do you
really
own?
Bitcoin.
No, I'm not. I don't care how much. I don't care how much. I'm just curious
What
which ones you're
coins?
invested in.
there. So not Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's a sucker's bet. It's all about Ethereum and garlic coin.
Garlic coin, Doge coin,
Yeah.
Kanye coin,
What about Fupa coin?
Fupa coin. Oh, big investments. Put my whole entire hedge fund that doesn't exist into Fupa.
Hell yeah.
No, things like Ethereum, Litecoin,
Yeah.
Ripple, Request Network, IOTA, just like
Those are all the
few things.
Okay. Diverse portfolio. Very nice.
Well, it's more of I like to think of it as like you just plant little seeds, because who knows what's going to be the next Bitcoin if we ever get to that kind of
Sure.
level again.
Yeah.
But you might as well just, because it's like some of those things are 30 cents. So it's like, cool, I can buy 10
Why
of them.
not?
That's not really a huge loss
Yeah.
on my end.
Yeah.
We have a friend who got involved. Actually, two friends that we know got
Yeah.
involved like real early. They invested like $2,000, maybe. I think it was 2 years ago. They said in like Ethereum, and they're like up to $100,000. I'm like,
That's
And
really-
I find it interesting. It's a girl, too.
yeah,
Our friend.
yeah. It's pretty.
Because I
mean,
feel it's kind of like a lot of times you don't really see female.
Hila, I
involved.
cannot believe you just made that channel. No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
right. You're right. I don't know.
I don't-
I'm not. We're not allowed to make.
I
Obvious,
mean, no, I'm
yeah.
proud of that. We have a girlfriend who's
If you're watching,
she made
pound it.
100,000.
Yeah, she's a superstar, dude.
That's awesome.
I think she should cash out personally. I'm just like, dude, take that money and run.
I mean, that's always the fear, right? Is like if you pull out now, like, but it could be. It's like the hold. But I don't know.
It just seems like glorified gambling to me. I don't understand it though, so don't judge me.
I mean, I have no real knowledge about markets or anything like that. The only piece of advice that I've ever listened to when it comes to this stuff is that whatever you invest should be something that you're willing to lose.
Right.
And then the second thing is for me, once I made enough money that covered how much I invested, I pulled out that amount. So it was like I didn't lose any money.
Great.
So whatever little bit amount of money I have left is just like, it's fun money. It's funny money.
Right,
Fun
right.
money. I don't know. Fun money's the new word.
It's Chuck E. Cheese bucks.
Chuck E. Cheese bucks.
That has real value.
It did, actually. That actually would be a cool thing. Like, how much is a Chuck E. Cheese thing, like, ticket worth?
Vsauce 3.
Boom. It's going to
How
set the
many
world on
Chuck E.
fire.
Cheese bucks equals one Bitcoin
Or one Model 3.
or one Model 3? So I've noticed now, since you've moved back to
Yes.
LA, that you seem to be much more active on Vsauce 3. Oh, nice vape, Doug.
So,
You vaping, dude?
just do a little bit of, I figured I was here.
Yeah.
Should
Now,
vape a little bit.
This is a vape.
Oh my god, I
friendly.
thought that was like your key or something to,
Oh, no,
to the
it's-
Model 3.
That's very futuristic looking.
I like it because it kind of looks like, well, maybe a sex toy, but also it kind of looks like a nice pebble that you would throw across the lake
When you're just like,
with your
man,
kids.
fuck this, I'm over it.
And I should just say, for those watching at home, this is just water vapor. There's no drugs in this.
Yeah, right. Just kidding.
Thanks for the disclaimer.
No.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
also it's
no, you
not marijuana. I know how
I don't.
The M word?
I mean,
Yeah, the M word. I shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry.
do people?
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, don't say the M
cannabis.
word.
It's not cannabis.
Yeah.
Is that what we call it nowadays?
You know what's funny? I wish I saw this. You're talking about our new video, The Return of White Man Face, I assume.
Oh.
Don't say the M word.
What?
Are you serious?
Oh, you're
yeah.
not?
I was
Okay.
like, that's weirdly coincidental.
I did some research before I got here.
I just saw in our subreddit, Now This posted an article from 2 weeks ago, and that video was posted like a month ago, where they used marijuana in the title of the article, and I was just like,
But he said that
what happened,
news
dude?
organizations like them and others don't say that word
Yeah.
anymore. I don't know
about
what to
that.
believe.
Oh,
My
man.
whole life is like. So you're asking a question before I
Fake
started.
news.
Vape
So
Nation.
are you happy to be more focused now on Vsauce 3 now that Beam has met its demise?
Am I happy? Let's start with that part of the question.
Oh no,
What is
What is
happiness?
Vsauce 3.
And how much
video.
does
Yeah.
it weigh, Ethan? 7 grams. So I am happier to be here. I mean, Michael's also now back full time
God
in
bless
LA.
him. God bless him.
God
He's
bless
done
Michael.
with
Papa
the
bless.
tour?
A legit Papa bless because he is my dad.
You know what trips me out? Just to go on a little tangent, he's younger than me.
Is he?
Michael is younger than me.
Is
and
he?
that makes
How old
that
are you?
just
Is he
turns,
not? Do
I'm
you know
32.
his age?
He's the same age as you. You guys are the same age.
Okay, but
He's 32.
Okay,
Where's he? 33. No,
I
he's
think
32.
he's a little younger than me.
When's your birthday?
But even if he's the same age, that's weird. and
I'm going to
twisted.
get to the bottom of this.
June.
June?
Yeah, June.
Michael's is January
He's
22nd,
Younger. He's younger than me.
1986.
I don't know. That just seems twisted.
Yeah, 1985.
Because he's like dad.
Yeah.
He's like dad as hell.
It's the glasses, the beard, the whole look.
Well, anyway,
Sorry, yes.
yeah.
So I'm excited because we're both here. He is not doing his tour at the moment. He's not doing Minefield, so we're just in the office every day, and that's
Cool.
really I want to make more things. I felt, and I still feel to a degree that I've been creatively dry. So and it's difficult. It's difficult to get back into that kind of like motivation of like I'm gonna make stuff, yay!
Yeah.
But being there is really nice. I like being around like our employees and like Michael and all that stuff. So I want to make more things. I'm working on some interesting stuff. I think we'll
Cool.
see.
Well, I love
like
the
it.
energy. I love the vibe in your guys' office. You have this wonderful warehouse
Yeah,
where you all work from. It's really cool.
it is really nice. And we're also 2 blocks down the street from Corridor Digital, which is nice. So we get to see like other creators.
Who dat? What is
Corridor Digital? Oh, would highly recommend. They do kind of like an evolution of what Freddie W was doing. We all kind of like sprung out of the same place, literally the same office.
It's a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Oh,
But Corridor, they make like incredible, like these beautiful visual effects heavy videos.
Wow.
They're really, really talented.
Oh,
So yeah.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
It may shock you that it's already been 30 minutes. And that
Shocked.
means I am blown away because this conversation has been so silky smooth.
Oh man, you're
But
really
we're going to run
filleting
to a
me right now.
commercial real fast, and we will be back after a short break because I have so much more I want to ask you, and there's so much more to know. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode of the H3 Podcast. We have teamed up with HelloFresh to offer our audience $30 off your first week of deliveries when you go to HelloFresh.com and use the offer code H3Podcast, one word. I love HelloFresh. It's my favorite day of the flippin' week. You get this package. It's refrigerated. It's cool. It's got proteins, vegetables, every single ingredient you need to cook a beautiful homemade meal. And it shows up right at your door. It's such a fun service.
It solves so many problems. You don't need to go shopping. You don't need to think what to cook.
Right.
It's all there.
And one of the annoying things is like when you want to cook a specific nice meal, you go to the market and it's like, you need 2 leaves of cilantro. And the market's like, well, here's 5 pounds. That's your only option. So now you get exactly the right proportion and you don't even have to think about it. Everything comes pre-measured and labeled, and you know exactly what you need. They offer a wide variety of chef-curated recipes that change on a weekly basis. Recently, I have enjoyed the chicken sausage pizza with fresh oregano. Look at this. Look at this pizza. You know I'm a pizza boy, and this was off the chain.
And it's super easy to make the way they you have exact instructions. Everything is labeled, measured. You
really
just
fun.
need to follow the steps.
Yeah,
That's
they've
it.
got these wonderful little info sheets with lots of bright colors and all the instructions you would need. And also, they don't include crayons, but I love drawing on that while the food's cooking. They also have all these taco recipes. The last time we had was a pork and poblano. Are you freaking kidding me? A little spicy, a little savory. Oh my God, dude. I would never make this myself, you know? I just go home and eat chips or something awful like that because I'm too, like, I don't have time. But they show up at the door and, ooh, it's the best day of the week, guys. It's so fresh. It's so easy to cook. It's delicious. It's balanced. And it's a wonderful dinner for less than $10 a meal. Feel confident with the simple recipes outlined on pictures with step-by-step instructions. If you can't even boil an egg, like my mother, I love her, but she one time boiled eggs and she walked upstairs, forgot, and the eggs exploded and were literally on the roof like 10 feet ahead. My mom, the joke about not cooking egg, being able to boil egg is real in her case. She has made HelloFresh and made a delicious meal. So if she can do it, you can too. So here's the deal. Go to HelloFresh.com and use the code H3Podcast, one word, and get $30 off your first order of a week of deliveries. So thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode of the H3 Podcast. Next up, we have got Stitch Fix. You can tell when a guy's got style. He always looks great and seems confident. And he's ready for anything. Well, that takes a certain skill set not all of us were born with. But now there's an easy way to look better. And let me tell you about Stitch Fix Men. That's true. Some guys just have swag.
It's the same for women too.
Some
by the
ladies
way.
have swag.
It's not like
Some, like, look,
it takes a lot of effort. It's like, who cares? Sometimes you just want
Right.
to not worry about what you're wearing.
well, some people have swag in other areas, and some people have swag in other areas. I felt really
I
stupid
don't
saying
know.
that.
What are you?
It sounded like maybe you're a real funny dude and maybe you just don't know how to dress yourself. But with Stitch Fix, they fill in, they fill in that part. They're your virtual girlfriend, your virtual mom wrapped up. You don't even have to bug them. Like, it's just someone, ladies paid to help you out. So here's the deal about what Stitch Fix is. It's a new way to shop for clothes, and it's unbelievably simple. You go to stitchfix.com and answer some questions about your sizes, what styles you like, and how much you want to spend. Stitch Fix has clothes for every guy and his style, not just one type of look. They've got it all. In fact, I have a friend, he's a motorcycler. He's crazy, dude. He came out with I don't know. Not really.
You don't have a motorcycle friend.
I'm sure they've got leather jackets with flames and shit if that's what you're into, but they've got everything is my point. Your personal stylist then uses your preference and other information you enter to select brand new clothes just for you. The items are delivered right to your door. You try them on and you only pay for what you keep. Just send anything you don't want back and shipping is free both ways. That's right, Buster. Get your fix on demand and sign up to receive scheduled shipments. Guys of all shapes. I love that. All shapes and sizes
Relatable.
and budgets. Relatable.
Who can relate?
Exactly. Defining your new style starts with Stitch Fix. So, guys, Dan has been rocking Stitch Fix, and I honestly, when Dan started, I was like, I know about this guy. Once he started getting Stitch Fix, he's got like this sweater that he wears every day. It's getting kind of weird. They sent him this sweater that he loves it so much that it's getting weird. And that can be you too. So try them out today. You've got nothing to lose. So go now to stitchfix.com/H3. You get 25% off when you keep all 5 items in your box. That's stitchfix.com/H3 to get started today. Stitchfix.com/H3. Thank you for sponsoring us. And finally, we've got SeatGeek. I freaking love me some SeatGeek. You have heard of all these various websites where you go and buy tickets and you get ripped off by all these suckers. SeatGeek's not one of those guys. In fact, they're the opposite. Because when you go online, you want to buy tickets to a concert, a Post Malone show, a Kings game, whatever. Kings, I don't know why I said Kings, Lakers, whatever you're into, sporting event, Dodgers. They give you a view from the seat and they rate the seat on how good of a deal you're getting on that seat. So you know exactly where you're sitting. You know exactly what kind of deal you're getting. There's no flipping surprises, dude. And it's just such a great, wonderful service. If you want to go to any event, I recommend SeatGeek 10 out of 10 times. That's what I use, and that's what you should use. For example, my dad, they hooked up tickets for me and my dad when we went to, it was the Dodgers World Series. We were like right behind home plate. And they just did that out of the kindness of their heart for my dad on his birthday. That's not related to how good their service is, but just more of a testament to what great dudes they are. So you get a 1 to 10 score on each seat to let you know how good of a deal you're getting. The green is good and the red is bad. We got a hookup for you guys at home that you want to see a show, go to an event, whatever. Use code H3H3 for $20 off your first order. Just click the Me tab on the app and enter code H3H3 for $20 off. Click the link in the description to download the app. So go to the link in the description and use code H3H3 for $20 off your first SeatGeek order.
Very cool.
Love SeatGeek, guys. If you are in the market for anything of our sponsors of support, please help. That didn't make sense, that sentence. What I mean to say,
If you're in the market for a new grocery list, a new clothing line in your closet,
yes,
or a ticket
yes, that's exactly what I meant.
to an event,
Please consider supporting our sponsors because they help support this show and make it possible. With that being said, let's get right back into it. Welcome, everybody, back to the H3 podcast. Before we went on break, you had mentioned that you were creatively blocked or
wow.
bankrupt. Well, and I bring it up just because we watched one of your recent videos about a video about making a video, or was it a video about not making a video?
yeah, about
Well,
not
there's
making
two of
it.
them.
Yeah, there's two.
Right.
Yeah.
But specifically the one about
not making a
being
video.
stuck,
Yeah.
which I loved, and I think anyone on YouTube would be like, "God, that's way too relatable."
It was spot on.
yeah, spot
Oh,
on.
thank you.
Well, tell me a bit about like when you're creatively blocked.
Yeah.
Like, how do you what do you do? Like, how do you break through?
So my mentality on it, and again, this just pertains to me. I don't know how this works for other people, but you can't force it. I always find like the more you try to be creative, the less you actually are. It's one of those moments where like you're just listening to music and it hits you. You're like, yes, that's what I could do. Okay, if it's it. So I have to. What I've been doing actually the past week has just been 3D printing objects to see what I could do with them, and then also just listening to this audio library that we use and just like shuffling through it. And when I hear a song, I add it to a playlist.
Interesting.
So I have like millions of playlists for like videos that I've never made yet. I'm like, oh, this one would be good for like. I made one playlist which won't make any sense. Sounds weird, but it was called Untitled Kidnapped Daughter Video.
Wow.
So one day I want to
Looking
make
forward
one
to
where
that one.
where I try and rescue my daughter Taken style, who doesn't exist, but one day she will. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so it's just listening to music and like zoning out. Because for me, at least, I need to hear music. That's what motivates everything in my life. And especially with videos, because I'll just be listening to them. Like, okay, great. Camera's going to go like this. And this sounds like the feeling of it is going to be more about kind of like shapes. Like and I want to do it on that. So I just need music, but it's a process. And this is why we make videos so infrequently on Vsauce, is because it takes a while to find the topic that you want to talk about. And then how do you talk about it? It needs to be done in a way that is unique to a degree. And can feel like this full meal. And I need to understand the topic better than anybody because it has to be infallible. Everything that I say needs to be exact. So just, I don't know. I don't know. I think we ebb and flow, right? Like I'm sure you guys have gone through this.
Sure, yeah, of course.
I mean, we've talked about this before. We're like,
yeah,
I can't even do anything, man. Like I feel like I'm being forced to make videos.
Yeah.
And I never want to be in that position. And the guilt that I feel for not making content is because I know that there are lovely people who do want to watch it.
Yeah.
And that's, but this is, I don't know. I've been actually thinking about this in the car right here, and interject whenever you want, please, because I could just talk forever.
Go for it, dude.
Is that I find myself thinking that being like creating or making things is an amazingly selfish act. Like, why am I doing it? I'm doing it because I want people to like me. That's the reason I make things, because I want them to see what's in my mind and to agree with it or to like find some semblance of themselves in it. And that's why I make things. I don't make things just for them. I make them so they understand me and so that they like me. That's the reason that I create anything. And I think that's potentially true for lots of people.
There's a lot of artists who say, I create for the purpose of sharing. Do you think that anyone can possibly actually feel that? Or do you think they're deluding themselves into thinking like, hey, I'm doing something, I'm helping the world, but really they're just kind of
I think that you can have that kind of noble cause mentality, but there's always that you're also kind of just doing it for yourself, which I don't think is bad. Like,
Yeah.
you should do things for yourself.
I don't think the two are contradicting. Like, for you, you may think like that, but still, for the viewers, they get a lot from it. And maybe you did it because you just want them to like you, but you made them have a better day. I don't know. It's
Right.
That's
it's
always
not
nice.
contradicting necessarily.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be siloed. It's not all black and white. There's this really lovely gray area in the middle. But I don't know. I just have this thought sometimes, and this is a kind of moving to a higher level thing where I always feel like I'm never going to be satisfied, like in anything that I do. And I think that's also a driver for why you keep making things, is that nothing is going to be good enough. There's never going to be a point where I make a video and go, that was the best video I ever made. I'm done.
That's kind of what Jordan Peterson said when he was here, is that like the purpose of life is to live on the edge of like the black and white, of the chaos and the order. I think if you ever are truly satisfied, well, it's fine, then good for you. But like that's where growth stops, right? Because if you're just stagnant, then where...
And that's the thing, like, it's not a negative thing to be that way.
Great.
It's just that to me, I don't know what I would do if I was that way. Like, I remember when I was, like stuck on a couch for 3 months and couldn't do anything. I was like, I'm worthless. I have no purpose. I can't make anything.
Was that when you were battling cancer?
Yeah. I was just like, I'm a piece of garbage. Like, I can't do anything. And I have no motivation to do anything. And the fear was, will I ever get out of this? Will I always feel this way? And will I just be complacent with what I have and not try to achieve greater? And it's not achieve greater in terms of like the things that I own. It's achieve greater in terms of who I am and the things that I can create. I don't know if that's just like very fluffy and hoity-toity, but
No, I think it makes total sense, I've always kind of been envious of people who can just be satisfied and like just happy with living the life that they have. And like it's satisfying. They come home, they're happy. I don't know if that actually exists, but I'm sure it does to some extent.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm not sure if that actually
yeah.
exists. Maybe it does. But I think it's rare that there's somebody who's just like, I have a job. I'm totally satisfied. I have no ambitions further than where I am now. And I just going to live like this for the rest of my days. I think there's probably it must be very rare.
I think no one really looks at it like that. I think happiness is like in little moments. Like no one is really like, my life is great. I
not great,
go
but
to
like
work
total
and come back home.
contentness. Like I don't know. I think of like farmers or some shit. But like real contentness in life, right?
no, I think actually, I mean, those people might exist. I do believe it to be rare. But I think Hila's kind of right with that, where there are moments of happiness. I was talking to my girlfriend about this, where, she asked me, like, are you happy? And I'm like, in this moment, yes. Like, with you right now, I am. Outside of this, there are things that I'm, like, not happy about.
Yeah.
That, like, I am sad about.
Right.
But in this moment, yes, I am happy. But also, like, we're kind of talking about when it comes to people being satisfied, it's like a grass is always greener. You're like, which I also feel like, I'd love to just be satisfied and, like, have a home and a family and, like, a job that I go to from 9 to 5. But I assume that people in those situations are also like, man, I wish I could do anything that I want. I wish I could do, like, what Ethan and Neil and Jake do.
Yeah.
Like, it's always better
There's
on
always
the other side of the fence.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's the human condition, dude. It doesn't matter how great it is, man. You're always going to be a whiny little bitch.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Obama's at home right now being like, God damn, dude, I wish I could have. I don't know what he could have done more, frankly, but he's thinking about something. It reminds me of that. There's this great scene from The Office when Andy is like, I wish somebody would tell him, I wish there was a way to know when you're in the good old days while you're in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wish I could know. What does it mean that you are Vsauce3? I still don't understand the whole Vsauce, like...
Hierarchy?
Yeah, not even the hierarchy, just like what's going on there? What does it mean that you're a Vsauce? How are you guys all associated?
Well, we're all friends. First and foremost. We're all
right.
buddies.
Yeah.
I think it's a similar way of thinking about topics and a similar way of expressing them. Like the way that we do them, it's packaged differently. But I think that the through line is always similar, where you immediately watch like, oh, this feels like Vsauce. I don't know how to better explain it besides like it's this feeling that we all try and express in our content. But it was really, Michael and Kevin and I talk about this a lot, where if we had made these channels today, they probably wouldn't be named like Vsauce 1, 2, and 3. They'd be probably totally different names. It was just that in the day, you named your second channel 2, third channel 3. And that's why we did it. But But yeah, I think it's just we all have a similar way of viewing the world, and we're all just very curious about similar topics, and we express them differently. I mean, sorry, I said the same thing twice. But to give examples, you can watch, for what we do, educational content, and they all feel varied and different. And we try and do ours differently than how they do it. And to us, that's what makes it Vsauce. Instead of like Physics Girl or Smarter Every Day.
Right.
It just has a different feeling to it.
There's definitely a delivery that you guys all have that's really sharp and very
And also
Vsauce.
that way of speaking where you just add pauses for
Right, the deep
no
pause.
particular reason.
The deep pause, really. That's what I meant. But are you guys like also business partners, or do you guys just kind of couple dudes who like being associated?
No, we're all business partners.
Okay.
Yeah. So we all work together. We run the business together.
Do you
At the end of the day,
discuss-
it's Michael's. Like Michael created it. Like he's the top dog. But we all work together in a really nice way.
That's cool.
Do you discuss like each other's videos too, or?
If we have questions, like, Kevin will call me and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And we'll talk about it. Or if like I have questions on a script, I'll send it to Michael. Be like, am I talking about acceleration correctly here? Like the past few days, we've just been, oh, there we are.
Hila said, I didn't mean to break you off. I just wanted to share this video or this picture with everyone. The boy band of science, I think is what Hila described you guys as, which
Ooh, I
I
like
thought was
that.
great. Yeah.
That is really nice. Thank you,
Yeah,
Hila.
I love these guys. Look at these fucks. Was Michael wearing that sweater unironically? Did he just show up in that sweater?
No, his wife made him that sweater.
Oh, it's
Oh
very
my
Michael.
goodness.
Yeah, it is a very Michael sweater. He loves that sweater. He's wearing it today, actually.
What a sweet guy.
It's a
I
very
love
nice
him.
sweater. Yeah, his wife made that for him.
That's really nice. It looks like
That's
something
Gucci,
bought,
dude.
something bought in a store.
But yeah, we all work together, and I love that. Like, currently my next video is potentially going to be about impossible objects, which are these like really cool illusions, like these 2D illusions, but I'm printing them in 3 dimensions on a 3D printer, but they need to look 2D when you look at it.
Yeah.
But by looking at it in 2D, it makes it look 3D. So that's been a fun challenge, but I basically just been showing all the ones I print to Mike and be like, dude, check this out! And like I show him, because you have to look at it at a certain angle, so like I take a video of it and then run over to his desk. I'm like, look at this! He's like, well, look at this! And then he like shows me all these things on his desk. And we end up doing that for like an hour, and then I'm like, oh wait, I gotta work again. Sorry.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's really fun. Like I love, I was in Michael's wedding. I was one of his groomsmen. Like we're just all really good friends, which I like.
How did you meet Michael? Did you...
Tinder.
Obviously, you got... Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was Grindr. Tinder wasn't around at the time.
Yeah. I love Grindr. It sounds so obscene, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
doesn't
It sounds like you're
sound-
going to murder somebody.
It sounds like you're just... To me, it just sounds like you're grinding cocks. Like grinder. It's like when you rub on another person in a
Oh,
sexual
yeah.
way.
I
You
don't.
grind.
I've never been sexual.
So
I
it's
don't know
like
these things, but
it's like you. I mean, grinder. I mean,
I assume people do that.
I guess
stuff.
that's why it exists.
I'm not married yet, so I don't know anything about it.
Man,
Let me just vape real quick. How I met Michael.
he invited you to become a Vsauce. How do you become a Vsauce? Are you guys looking for a Vsauce 4, or is there enough sauce?
There's a good amount of sauce. I think if we ever were to make another channel, it might not be Vsauce numerical. It might just be Vsauce Kids or something different.
Right.
We'd love to try and do something where we help other creators create. Similar in scope, I think, to what the Vlogbrothers do. We're like, we're going to give $2,000 or something to all these different creators, and they can buy equipment. Like, we'd love to figure out some way to be more hands-on with other science communicators, but not own any of what they do, but just like help them. And maybe that's how we're involved. But I met Michael. So I met Michael and Kevin because we all worked at Google together.
Oh, wait. You worked at Google before you were Sauce?
Yeah.
What'd you do there?
Wow.
So we were all strategists. So we worked basically with brands and with advertisers and with creators to help them emphasize their content on the platform and go through analytics and be like, here's what we
Interesting.
noticed. So we did that. Michael was still doing Vsauce at the time. Kevin was doing Vsauce 2. And I was working on a project called Space Lab, which was this really exciting project where it was an initiative that YouTube was doing where some kids would submit science experiments, and then one of them would actually be sent to the International Space Station to be performed. So I made all of the content for that channel and
Wait,
ended up
what?
like hosting.
What would go up to the internet?
One of these kids' experiments would go up to the
that's
ISS,
cool.
which is like super
I thought
dope.
you said they were going to send a kid up to space. I was like, that doesn't sound safe.
Do I need a spacesuit? No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're fine. Just go.
That'd be pretty sweet competition. So,
So that's how I met Michael and I sat next to each other. And I was working on Space Lab. He was still doing strategy and like Vsauce when he could in his free time. Because Vsauce at that point wasn't huge yet. It maybe had like 200, 300,000 subscribers. When it started getting really big, that became his full-time job. He's like, listen, Google, I'll still help you with stuff, but Vsauce is what I'm going to focus on. And I started helping him edit some like Dong episodes and stuff like that for his channel.
Right.
And he originally asked me to be the channel
Dong's
manager.
been around that long?
Oh yeah, Dong's been around since
Whoa.
the inception, pretty much, of
Wow.
Vsauce. I mean, when Vsauce started, it was a gaming comedy channel. Like,
Right.
you know, one of the first videos was Mario farts.
Dude, his old shit.
It's
is
so
fun.
weird.
Yeah.
But that's what's so nice about even the name Vsauce. Even like with what you guys are called H3 Productions, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we're like, we make video game comedy, the channel. It's like, ah, shucks. Well, now we got to do that.
Yeah.
So I was working on that. Michael asked me to be the channel manager, and I kind of was like, what if I just did my own channel? So we worked together, and we had another guy, Joey, at the time, who was hosting too, and I just wrote a bunch of scripts, sent them to Kevin Michael. They were like, these are great. Google was like, yeah, Jake, if you want to do this, do it. So that's kind of how it started.
That's so cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what happened to Joey? Where's he? Or what? Because I noticed if you go to Vsauce 3, first video has Vsauce 2.
Yeah.
So who was Vsauce 2 when Vsauce 3 was Vsauce 2?
So he was, basically the channel when it first launched was this guy, Joey, who made video game content, myself, and then Kevin from Vsauce 2.
Okay.
Because I was still doing Space Lab full time, like my Google stuff full time. So I couldn't make all the content. So Kevin would like pitch in and make some videos. This guy Joey would pitch in and make some videos.
Interesting.
And then once I gave Space Lab off to Scientific American. Once we did that, like beginning of 2012, then I started doing Vsauce 3 full time.
Cool.
So Joey stepped away, Kevin stepped away, and it was just me.
By the way, I understand you have a resume of working on kids' content. Do you know that they're doing an open casting call for Blue's Clues?
Are they really?
Open casting call, dude.
Dude.
I was like,
I could never be as good as Steve, though. That's kind of my dilemma. I'd be like, hey,
Maybe you
kids,
could.
you want to vape? Puff, puff.
they says, here's the casting call. It says, we're looking for the perfect host that has a comedy background, natural connection with the camera, and is someone who will empower the home viewer to feel important, respected, and smart.
I could
That's
do
you,
that.
dude.
Yeah. I'll just go in and be like, listen, guys, I'm creatively bankrupt. I can't think of any ideas. So today we're just going to eat nachos and watch the movie Eraser
And vape.
starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and vape.
Well, do you play guitar, sing, or juggle? They're looking for a juggler? Whoa.
I can
A
juggle.
whole song and dance.
That's part
I
of
can
the
juggle the
quest.
heck out of any, well, not anything, but I did do circus camp for quite a while. I can do flaming clubs.
Circus camp.
Yeah. I can do some
It's like
somersaults.
Krusty Camp.
Yeah,
from-
basically.
Tell me about circus camp.
So the school that I went to, we had a circus program because our theater director used to be in the circus. So we had a whole circus program. I did circus camp. I did circus as like my arts thing
you
in
know
middle
some
school.
tricks?
I mean, I can juggle. I can do tightrope.
Dude.
I can jump through fire hoops.
Wow.
I don't know if I can anymore. I say these things if I could do that today. I don't know. I could do it when I was like 10 years old. I was much more nimble then.
Fire hoops.
Dude.
And you got a flamethrower.
And I could do it.
You ready to go
I'm
take
gonna
that show on
juggle
the road?
flamethrowers.
Yeah.
Boom.
We got to get you 3 of those. Here is something that I saw that was a real crack up. You received a gift from YouTube recently,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was super gracious. They sent this to their top creators, and it happened to be a picture of Vsauce 2 that they sent you.
Yeah. And
What
then
the
they,
hell happened here?
And then they sent me multiple
Yeah.
copies of
And
Vsauce
then-
2's face.
Okay, so hang on. Did this happen after? What's the chronology of receiving 5 posters randomly in addition?
They were included. I like took it out. They have
Oh
a
my
beautiful
God.
framed photo of not me, but they were my comments and also my channel name, but not my face. And then they also sent 5. And the funny thing is, they sent those with a Sharpie so I could sign them to give to fans.
Oh.
Huh.
So maybe it could be a collector's item. Kevin, however, got. That's the same photo they used for Kevin. He got his perfectly fine. They just
Did
no
you
one
ever get an answer?
Yeah, I emailed my partner manager, and she was very apologetic. And they sent me a new one, which is now hanging up in the CNN office.
Oh.
Because sorry, YouTube, I didn't want it. I was like, it's too late.
CNN values that.
Who knows? But they were like, because they emailed me, do you want this? I said no. So then they sent me a photo of it hanging up in one of their like edit suites.
Aw,
Oh.
a little.
But yeah, that is.
Well, you'll always have this to commemorate.
But it is
and I think-
perfect. Like, I mean, I love YouTube. We wouldn't have careers without them. But it is this kind of like this delinquency that they have. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, top creators, we love you. Here's one that's totally not even you.
Yeah.
Because they would even be like, did you get your present? I
Or
was like, I
it's,
did.
it's almost like I can't even get all you Vsauces straight.
Yeah.
Here's one of them.
Yeah, just we're gonna play roulette.
Yeah.
This is probably him, but it's
Oh,
fine.
man, I love that. So what's your plan going forward? What is your dream project? I'm curious because now the beam's out of the way, you're back home, you're focused on your own shit.
Yeah.
Like, let's say in 5 years from now, what would you love to be working on in a perfect world?
That's a great question. I mean, 5 years ago, I didn't even think I'd be doing what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows how the landscape will change. I would love to make a movie. I'd like to make a
Interesting.
feature-length movie. Would be really nice.
You want to write, direct, or just direct?
I think just direct it. If I could like help, I'm not a great writer when it comes to scripts. I'm great at writing for myself, but I don't know how good I am for writing for others. So I'd like to direct something. I think would be really neat. And I'm trying to do more of that. Like I'm currently working on a much longer series, much more expensive series for Vsauce that I think will be really cool. That I can't talk too much about now, but soon people will be able to see it.
That's exciting because
Something
all of your
you're
videos
doing
already.
Independently?
No.
Okay.
More info to be revealed later.
Okay.
But
That's
it's like,
good.
But all my videos, like my most expensive video I ever made, I think cost like $3,000 or something.
Really?
And that's
What
rare.
about like the Home Alone one? That one was insane. You had like a whole
Thank you.
house.
Well, that one I didn't pay anything. Like I'm just
Okay.
talking like what I paid for.
Out of
That
your
was
pocket,
'cause
right.
that was a
Right.
brand deal. They built the set
Right.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have to invest anything. Like I think the most expensive video I made was the Muppets video, and that was because I hired a crew and stuff. But I would love to see what I could do with an actual budget, which hopefully this thing that I'm working on will allow me to do.
Awesome.
Like what could I make with hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe something good, hopefully.
That's super exciting.
But I love to do stuff like that. I'm trying to. One thing that's really important, which I really appreciate you guys for, and I think you handled it lovely, is extending the brand beyond one platform. Because we don't control YouTube. We have no idea what's going to happen when they make changes. It affects us in a very significant way. But you have things like Teddy Fresh, which also exists outside of yourselves, which is super important. If H3 were to just disappear tomorrow, you still have this one brand that isn't entirely tied to you, which is the same thing we try to do with like the Curiosity Box, like creating products that can exist without us having to always endorse them or promote them.
Right. Well,
The
that's
Curiosity Box is a pretty amazing.
yeah. That thing seems to be killing it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's super cool too. I love what you guys put in there.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like a really fun thing to do. But again, it allows us to not only be Vsauce, it allows us to do something
Right.
different and
Yeah.
grow what we do. Like my dream is always, and I love it when we were out to dinner and like we saw somebody wearing some Teddy Fresh.
Yeah, that was
at the
the
restaurant.
first time we saw a Teddy Fresh.
Isn't that awesome? Like,
Yeah.
what a cool experience.
I don't know if we told that story, but we were meeting for your birthday
Yeah.
at an escape room, and we saw some dude. We went for dinner afterwards, and some dude at the bar was just rocking a Teddy Fresh hat. And me and Hila's dream from the beginning was like, we want to just run into someone. Well, actually, our dream is to run into someone on the street
Who
wearing Teddy
doesn't
Fresh
know
who
us.
doesn't know us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're halfway there.
This guy was a fan, but still.
It was super cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's like our dream with the box is to see someone wearing one of the T-shirts in it
Right.
that has no idea who the heck any of us are.
Yeah.
They just
dream.
really love it for what it is.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out more things we can do with that. I'm trying to figure out how I can grow Vsauce3 outside of just YouTube. Because you do kind of feel pigeonholed sometimes. Like I need to only make these kind of
Sucks,
things.
man. It's too
Right.
unreliable. We had like an existential crisis when the apocalypse happened. And I mean, the fashion thing was something we always wanted to do anyway. And so
It
I was,
kind of just helped us push,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. That thing, I'm just so happy that Hila's like following her passion. I mean, that's just something that was in her. That was the first thing that she wanted to do before we ever made YouTube. So it was really
Yeah.
cool to go back
That's
to
awesome.
like the original dream and be able to fulfill it.
I never got into fashion school, so
Oh yeah, she was rejected.
And then you're like, suck it, fashion school. I have a successful brand on my
Yeah.
own. But that's amazing. Like the clothing is legitimately incredible. Like I love
Thank
it.
you.
My girlfriend's super jealous. She's like, oh, can I wear it? No.
Oh, what does she want? We'll
I'll
hook her
send
up.
Maybe just like a burlap sack.
A burlap
Good for
sack.
her,
We
yeah.
have a Teddy Fresh burlap sack. Yeah, I'll hook her
Teddy
up.
Fresh burlap sack.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
she always wants to wear it, but I wear smalls and she wears normal human being sizes, so she can't. She's like, no, I'll stretch it out.
Small's hard to rock, man.
It's
You're a
really
little-
great
you're a-
for me
You'd
that
be
you're a
great on
small,
Grinder,
dude.
bro. You're a little fucking twink, dude.
Thank you.
usually
Thank you so
medium and
much.
larges are like the sizes that everyone wants,
Yeah.
and I always have smalls left over.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm a human skeleton. I mean, we're all skeletons, but I have very little things besides my bones.
That surprised me because you are famous for enjoying of pizza and tacos, but yet you're such a petite little fella.
It's my metabolism. It's also my diet. I don't eat like breakfast or lunch. I just eat dinner. I'll have like pineapple for
You eat
breakfast.
one meal a day?
I have like a pineapple, maybe like a Cliff Bar. Then at dinner, I go hog wild. Like last night, I had nachos and a burrito. You know what I had the night before?
What, from where?
Nachos and a burrito.
Dude, that's
Oh my
not
God.
right. That's what I dream of eating every day. And I know
Oh,
that.
it's so hard to be
This-
this beautiful.
But I also couldn't. I don't think I could eat one meal a day. I have cravings. I have needs.
See, you just gotta fight through it.
Are you? So tell me, how does it work? Are you actually hungry, but you're like, I don't?
Oh yeah.
Just too
I don't-
busy.
I'm always like, the thing is, when I eat food, I get very slow. Like my thinking gets slow, and I can't like talk as well, and I don't gesticulate as well.
Slows you down.
Flute. I don't even know what it's called. I eat it so infrequently.
You gotta eat, man.
No, I just gotta keep vaping.
So is not because that's funny because Austin Post Malone does the same thing, and it drives me crazy whenever we hang out with him for like a full day. I get so hungry, and he's like, "Bro, no."
Making everyone starve.
And like we're drinking all day usually, and he's like, "No. At 3 a.m. we're gonna eat." And I'm like, "I can't wait till 3 a.m. to eat. It's insane." Is that part of like a diet regimen for you?
No. It's just that, like, if I ever have meetings or I have to film, I never eat beforehand because it will slow me down. I won't think as well.
That's interesting.
I mean, it happens to me a lot. I just get too busy and too distracted, and then I'm like, "Wait, I'm starving." And I didn't eat anything.
See, I never forget about food.
Like, you can snack.
That's the difference between me and you guys. I never forget about food.
Like, before coming here, Michael really wanted some subs. So
What
Michael
a sweet guy.
had like,
What a sweet
we
guy.
all ordered subs.
In a sweater,
and
eating
then
subs.
and then I put it in the fridge. He was like, I can't eat this yet. I'm gonna. If I was here adding this up, I'd be like, hey guys, what do you want?
I wish, man, God, I wish I had that because, like, dude, I think I'm at my happiest when I'm eating nachos.
I know they won't be able to see it. I apologize. Let me show you these photos of these sweet nachos.
Let me see the nachos.
Let me show you these hot nachos.
When I have a plate of beautiful nachos dumped with salsa or hamburger.
Look at those nachos.
Is that from a local joint?
Yeah, they even gave me a side of nacho cheese.
Bro, you know I gotta eat nachos. But like, it sucks being having a fat guy disease because like simultaneously I hate being overweight and I really want to change. But equally as compelling, looking at me more compelling, is that I want to eat nachos every fucking day. It's twisted, man.
Well, let me throw a.
And also, I don't want to exercise. Everyone at home's like, "Why don't you just go on the fucking treadmill?" Because I don't want to.
That was gonna be my curveball.
I'm busy.
I love it. Have you tried? One thing
AKA
I really enjoy
lazy.
is. Do you want to see the nachos? I don't know. I feel bad that.
Did I not show you?
No.
You didn't.
Here,
I'm sorry.
here's the. You can
Hila
see
doesn't care about
I
food.
don't care.
She
Great.
doesn't care about food.
That does look
Give
good.
it back. Give it back. Don't desecrate those nachos with your
These are
negativity.
good. I don't know if you can. I don't know what camera to put
A side of nacho cheese.
It's great. Oh, some refried beans up in there. What are you doing? Oh, okay. I didn't. It took me a second. Are you putting that into your urethra? Is that where's
Just want nachos, dude. You got a disease.
It's fine. I don't even know what you're talking about.
We were talking about some goddamn nachos.
Can you imagine if your urethra was wide enough to be able to like fit this in, how clean it would be?
Some people are into that.
Like, can you? Oh yeah, I've seen
How do you call it
God.
when people shove thing up their urethra?
a fetish. I don't know what it's called, but
Ian, can you find out the specific name of that so everyone watching can go?
yeah, go Google that.
See now,
Don't.
don't. I'm just making a joke here.
No, do
But
it.
there's
I'm
there's-
curious.
To me, that seems to be one of the most insane fetishes of shoving things up your dick hole. That's an out hole.
Here's
For sure.
well, but people like shoving things in other holes that are generally for out.
That one specifically, it's called sounding.
I mean,
Sounding.
Like,
besides your mouth, what other hole on your body is meant for things to go in it?
not the penis hole. It's definitely not the penis hole.
I don't know. I'm never gonna make fun of or belittle people for the things that they enjoy as long as they don't hurt others.
Okay, fine. Okay, you're into some weird shit. I get it.
I'm not saying. Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm not gonna stick
not
things
judging.
up my.
I'm not judging.
My urethra.
You know what? Whatever
but I
you
wouldn't
get
be opposed
into,
to it.
whatever you're into, God bless you.
Dan is saying a lot of people in the chat knew the name
sounding.
immediately.
It's a meme. I knew. I've heard it many times. I'm disappointed
Really?
that I wasn't quick
Sounding?
on the sounding drop. Why sounding? That makes it worse. It's like it's like listening to it. Like,
Yeah.
what's the sound?
Do you remember? This is old internet days.
Okay, stop.
Do you remember? Grow up, would you? Do you remember? There was a video that maybe some folks had seen. I have two videos for you. Maybe we can find them. Ian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe you can pull
Ian,
these up.
Ian can find anything. Ian, I want you to pull up a video of sounding. I don't want to see it.
you
I just
find
want
my
you to watch
daddy?
it.
Oh, God. He left one day and never came back.
I just want Ian to, and then when you're
That's
done.
true. I love my father. He's a nice man. Video. It was a guy cutting off his
Pain
his
Olympics.
penis. Yes.
I think
And
it's fake.
You think this would be cut off with the axe,
So
the hatchet?
First of all, I've seen it, and I was so traumatized by it, like as maturing through my life. Yeah, the BME Pain Olympics.
That's it. Yes.
And well, for those of you who don't know, and I'll tell you, it's basically men disfiguring their genitals.
Yeah.
So, like, for
Why?
example, it's the most twisted shit on the planet. So, like, just a guy would put his dick on a chopping blocks and just literally hatchet it off. But I'll just say,
But it's like you can only do that once.
yeah, it's a one-shot go. That's why it's so special.
How you sew that baby back on, good as new, like a lizard.
No, they made sure. They
No,
made
yeah,
sure
they-
that was it.
If you use like a serrated edge, I could imagine it being more difficult to attach. But there's another. Oh, sorry, you go.
Well, what
Yes,
I
yes,
was
yes.
saying
Please,
is
please,
that I've heard since, just so everyone watching knows, and especially the ad policy team, that it was fake. It wasn't real. And even if it was real, that made me feel better, and so I choose to believe that it was fake.
So, okay, I got one more video for you that you might have seen. This was back in the day when, like,
How did that make you feel? Because you just glossed past that, and it left
Oh.
a real impact on me.
I was fine. So I had a weird childhood.
You didn't, man. Well, what was the point of bringing it up?
I don't remember. I don't even know
All right.
where I am. No, so when I was a kid growing up, my mom really wanted me to be a doctor. So we'd go to the library and she would rent just VHS on top VHS of surgery videos. I remember one I watched was
Oh
like a
my God.
multi-part 3-tape series of this kid getting his face, like a facial reconstruction.
Interesting.
But like broke his face, then like peeled off the skin. And I would just watch those in the basement because my mom was like, "You're gonna be a doctor."
Wow.
That's a weird one.
Yeah. So to me, it was like, okay, it's the human anatomy. I did was like, ooh, I don't want that to happen to my wee wee, but I was.
Well, wait. What kind of wee things did you see?
Well, okay. So this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. It doesn't involve a wee wee, really, at all. So back in the day, you know, when we had Napster and Shazam and like
Yes.
iMesh, you would download something thinking it was one thing and it would be something else.
Yep.
So one I downloaded was these 2 Asian women. I believe they were Japanese, and they had a lot of eels. And I'm gonna be as PG as possible. So this,
I've seen
do you know
this.
this? Which has the funnel
I've been
in
there.
one girl's butt, and she's putting the eels into her butt, then takes them out, but you can see through. I'm gonna use the scientific, the anus. You can see the eels moving,
What?
and then they shoot out into the other girl's mouth. She like chews them up and then like regurgitates them into the girl's mouth that had them in her butt. And I remember watching that and be like, huh, I'm not interested in this.
Right.
And that's when I realized that I was like a normal kind of guy. Not that you're not normal if you're into that. That's fine. As long as it doesn't hurt other people. But I guess
Or
it hurts
eels.
eels. Yeah, there was a lot of eels that were murdered for this.
Oh my God.
Those
Anyway.
were the darkest days, dude. The days of Napster and Kazam was
Oh,
Shredder. Jesus,
there's no eels.
scared the shit out of me.
He sometimes wakes up from like
Shredder,
a
Shredder,
dream.
it's all
Hey,
Okay.
Shred. Shred dog.
Those were the absolute darkest days. Those of you who grew up with Napster and Kazam and stuff know the pure debauchery that we all. Dan, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't know
'Cause
what you're
heard you
talking
laughing.
about.
Yeah, it
I
was-
saw
think it was
so
an
many
American
people
thing.
get murdered. I'd be like, oh, cool. This is
Just
like
the-
Animal House. Nope, someone getting shot in the face.
No, you just, dude.
Wasn't Animal House at all.
Those were the darkest days, bro. That's all I'll say. And everybody who's been there knows exactly what I'm talking about.
And also, like, it was such a disappointment because we're rocking like 56K modems here.
Exactly.
So it took like 10 years for me to download Jason 10, you know, the latest Friday the 13th. Anyway, and then I find out it's not Jason 10 at all.
It's a Asian lady pooping out squids.
I
I
wish
guess.
it was squids. I at least have an emotional
Or
connection with
eels,
them. It was eels. No
I guess
cephalopods at all.
It happened to me where I would download like a movie for a whole week, and then it's not that. But I never got like weird stuff.
Do you ever get the one, or it's Bill Clinton be like, I have not kissed that woman. Go to
No.
www.freesock. Like they would dupe you and then actually put in an ad.
Oh, really?
Anyone relate? Who
I
can
don't know that
relate?
one. I don't know that one.
Nobody, huh? Dan, can you relate?
Anyway, sorry, what were we talking about? I think you had like questions or I don't know. I
was a-
apologize for getting us this. Oh, we were talking about sticking things in your urethra. 'cause
Yes,
you're-
sounding.
We can talk about something else.
I mean, we don't have to. If it sounds like everyone out there really enjoys this topic. Oh, what are you cleaning a pipe?
This is what sounding sounds like.
I imagine there'd be more.
right, let's move on.
Ow!
Let's move on.
Like that.
It's hard to really move past. It's like anything else.
We
just
had a
seems
moment.
like-
We had an
yeah.
experience. I feel like we're all closer. I wish this
Man,
table wasn't between
yeah,
us.
I
We just-
saw shit on there
had,
that
like-
I can't even.
You know, like there was ogreish.com or something. Ogreish, I think. Where it's just like, I remember I watched one video of a guy, his arm got ripped off by a machine, like in a factory.
I can't stomach that stuff. I saw one. Me and Ela were watching
Oh, yeah.
E-Fucked. That's where they have like really twisted
Yeah, I remember.
stuff. And we were going through, and it was all real intriguing until we hit one video of a woman in a stiletto stepping on a dude's dick, and it's a fetish she's in, but the stiletto breaks through.
Oh, it goes through.
And then he's like, he's into it, and then he's like, well, you can imagine.
Think about
and
that's
then
not
I was
what he
like,
meant.
close this website, and I'm never, ever.
Yeah, you've never touched a computer ever again.
I don't think we've been on
But
this
imagine
thing.
how
We
much
have.
more quickly you could urinate.
Yeah,
There's like multiple
that's-
holes. It's like poking holes in a
It's a
garden hose to
shortcut.
like water everything.
Based on his reaction, he wasn't thinking about that.
He is now. He's like, oh, this is what a treat.
How do you fix that? I wonder if that's a fixable thing. They're like,
Band-Aids?
sir, you have a giant hole in your penis.
Yeah, just go into the hospital and be like, so listen, don't ask me how this happened.
Right.
Just have a hole in my penis.
I
Was
just
that episode
fell
of
on the
Seinfeld?
stairs.
The macaroni statue up the ass?
What?
Or Seinfeld, the macaroni up the ass?
I don't remember that.
When George's dad falls on a macaroni statue up the ass, and the doctor's like, I don't want to know.
Other than Jackass, I think the first movie where he stuck a toy car up his
Yeah,
butt.
yeah.
He's like, oh, I fell. He's like, how did you fall? How is this possible?
That's wonderful.
Anyway, sorry, please, let's continue.
Let's attempt. Your videos are insanely well produced and researched. What is your process for making new videos like? How long does it take you generally? No, but seriously, you don't post that frequently.
Mhm.
And they are extremely well researched and produced. And I mean, do you have a background in science and technology at all?
Not really.
So you are self-taught in these things. Like, what's the process when you get an idea? You're like, all right, awesome. I'm going to do parasites.
Yeah. So it's really...
Tell me, how did you get the idea for parasites? And then how did you start researching it?
So that was something that I've been interested in because I've always loved the movie The Thing. Like, it's one of my favorite films. So I've always been curious about it. And then, again, I was in this rut where I couldn't really think of anything. And I heard this song on the music library that sounded like John Carpenter's like score for The Thing.
Interesting.
And then I was like, oh, wait, okay, I could make something of this. And I started getting ideas in my head. So then it was really I just Google search parasites. And I find a bunch of different sources and books. And I just read that one took about a month. I just read like 3 books, found a bunch of different studies and research articles and papers on the internet and just read everything.
Wow.
And then I write, like my notes pages are usually about 10 to 12 pages of just notes, excluding like my highlights from the books. And then I condense all of that into a script that's like 3 pages maybe. And it has to have a narrative flow. So like when I actually have all my notes, I kind of start deleting things or reorganizing things depending on what narrative structure I want. And then from there, it's really, I find my soundtrack, I listen to all the music, I'm like, hey, this song fits for this section when I'm talking about this kind of parasite. And then I just go and film it.
I find it so interesting that you start with the music first. My
Yeah.
mind doesn't work that way at all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not at all.
What's your process like? What do you guys do?
The sound is the last thing that we would do.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
Interesting.
consider that and as a part of the narrative, really. It's more like, after the fact. I mean, generally, it just starts with finding a video that is inspiring or in some way.
Yeah.
And then, for the longest time, we wouldn't prepare at all, which was great in the beginning because it had kind of this magic quality where it was just everything was improvised off the cuff.
Yeah.
And it really had a great quality to it because it was just so raw. But after like a year of doing that,
It's not sustainable. It becomes
Right.
Yeah, you
like-
need like more structure.
Because
Yeah.
you end up, you kind of milk yourself and all your natural reactions,
Yeah.
you start kind of depending on them over and over, and then you just become kind of like a jukebox. And it was getting like really, talk about like creative, a dry well. We were just, it was getting real bad. And we would like shoot and be shitty. And I'd feel worse and worse and worse. And so we started now a little more sustainable. It's just, you find the video. Because part of the magic for us was like, we didn't want to watch it because I wanted to go in virgin.
Yeah.
But it's just not sustainable. So we don't really write a script, just like planned beats where we kind of identify the parts that I want to talk about.
Yeah, that's
and
smart.
Get some idea of what I want to say. And so just a real simple roadmap, I would say.
Yeah.
But a lot of the mastering of the video comes after we've already shot it. Like
The
sketch
editing.
ideas, edits, music, everything usually comes in post.
Yeah, it's totally the
It's
opposite of what I do.
totally
Like,
the
Yeah.
everything's planned out. Like, when I film it, I know exactly how it's going to be cut together. Like, editing is probably the easiest part for me because everything's shot
funny.
how it's going to be edited.
Editing
Yeah.
has always been the
That's
most
crazy.
grueling part for us. But I also think I love editing the most, almost even more than shooting. I don't know why. I hate shooting itself generally, probably because we're so unorganized.
Mhm.
And then the editing itself is when I feel like, okay, got the footage.
Yeah.
And now,
You can take your time and actually
Yeah.
craft it, like shape it into what you want.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it makes sense to me with your videos. The music is always like a really big part of it. So
Well, to me, it's the motivation.
yeah,
Like
I
it
can
helps
see that.
dictate how the whole story gets pushed forward.
Are you a musical guy? Do you play music? What? How? Are
I
you
play-
okay? Do you
no.
need to eat food?
No, I never need to eat. I have water. I have vape.
I'm eating nachos tonight, Yula.
I'm
You
slowly
will not
eating
stop
myself.
me.
Okay.
I'm actually probably gonna get nachos tonight too. Fuck. And a burrito. And you know what? I'm gonna feel.
Are
no
you
guilt.
serious? You can do that?
No guilt.
How can you? 'Cause even if I didn't eat all day and I'm super hungry, I can't fit all that food. Like I'll be.
It's because I hate myself.
Can I say
That's
something?
the most important part.
Can I say something controversial? There's people with like Crohn's disease, which is a terrible disease that I wouldn't wish on anyone. Everyone has it. It's an awful thing that I wouldn't wish on anyone. But
You think I haven't?
somehow,
It's like what?
no,
Where are you
no,
going with that?
I'm going somewhere. But you shit a lot.
Me?
Do you? No, I'm not saying you have Crohn's. People with Crohn's shit a lot. Do you get what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I get, actually,
So you can eat more and pay less.
just to make you feel guilty.
I wish I
the
had
first
Crohn's.
girlfriend I ever had died last year of Crohn's disease.
What? You can
Wait,
die
what?
of Crohn's disease?
Yeah. Well, she also had some, but that was part of what she had. They had to she had a bag and all this stuff.
I don't want Crohn's disease anymore. I thought it was just you shit a little bit and eat lots of nachos.
Oh my god.
I don't know if any of this is true. But I don't know. Just
Is your
trying to
girlfriend
make
okay?
you feel.
That-
I was trying to make
okay.
you feel guilty.
Oh, she's not dead.
I don't know. I've never been with a woman before.
Grinder. I knew it.
I've never been with anyone besides the eels,
Except the nachos.
except the nachos and the eels.
Okay.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
Everyone, I hope everyone tonight's getting nachos who's watching. They're like, damn, I need fucking nachos.
Get some
tonight."
nachos. And okay, so little side note on nachos. This isn't branded at all. But Chili's Bar and Grill has some of my favorite.
Dude, they've got the one chip
Yes!
masterpieces.
Yes!
I
It's a
love those
microcosm
ones.
of nacho.
I do love those.
Because every chip, there's no dry chip.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like 10 chips, and you're like, oh, please, a 10 chip nacho platter. But wait, perfectly layered with beans. Perfectly layered. It's like each chip is a masterpiece.
It is.
With-
They're perfect. Because like when you get nachos, that giant pile, which are nice, you get to the bottom, now it's just chips, and they're soggy. What am I going to do with this?
Especially if you're sharing it, someone else is gonna get all the good bites.
Oh, yeah, and they
then
get that
you-
one chip that's connected to
I'm
50
the
others.
guy.
And it's just...
I'm the guy who gets all the good bites. I have no shame.
Someone else.
I'm like, listen, Hila, you don't even care. I'm getting the good bites. Maybe that's why you don't like food, because I get all the good bites. How was it making a
Solved
video
it.
with Neil Smoke the Grass Tyson about time you guys talked about? And may I ask, did you guys smoke the grass before?
There was no grass smoking. It was really nice. I mean, I met him a few times. We've done a few things together, and it was really cash, you know, real nice. We're actually potentially doing another thing in a few weeks
Wow.
together when I'm back in New York.
I want to meet him. I want to
He's
smoke
like, we
the
should
grass
get him
with
on H3 podcast.
Wait,
We try, yeah. God, I'm trying. We reached out. We are like plebs. We have to reach through the like email.
You got Saget. If you can
We
get
got-
Saget,
yeah,
you
we
can
got
get
the
the
Sag.
Tyson.
This, yep.
But yeah, he's lovely, and those kind of videos are the easiest to make because I don't have to do anything. It's just like we're gonna have a
Just sit.
conversation and then turn it into a video,
Yeah.
which is really nice.
Do you wonder if like that's how a lot of other YouTubers make every video?
Mhm.
Isn't that cool for them?
It is good for me. Here's the thing, because people are like, oh, this isn't real content. People watch it, so it is. Like if people enjoy
People
it,
say that
Yeah.
on your videos?
not for
No.
me, but I mean like for other things.
For other-
Oh.
I'm sure people say it about me too. But like
Sure.
I again, it might not be what I like, but if other people like it, cool.
No,
I wish I
totally
could
agree.
do that kind of stuff.
I
but
totally
I
agree.
can't.
Good on them for finding. Dude, my dream is to find a format that's easy to produce and that people like as much as the videos we make that take us more
Yeah,
effort. 'Cause
and that's
like-
incredibly difficult to do.
yeah, it's super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it was easy,
I
I never would
think-
do it.
I think that there's no such thing actually, because I feel like everything becomes hard. Like if you're doing vlogs, that's really hard.
Yeah.
If you're doing, I don't know.
It does. There is, and I have some on my mind, but I'm not going to say it because I don't like making fun of people. But there are some creators who have definitely like farmed it out.
Mm-hmm.
So like everyone, they just basically show up and host, which is great. I shouldn't like that isn't a bad thing. If you get to that level where you can, cool. You know, like I know with you
Yeah.
guys, especially with the videos that you make on YouTube, it's just pretty much you guys.
Mhm.
Even like with Vsauce, for Michael and Kevin and I, like Michael and I don't have a research assistant or anything. Like we do everything ourselves. Then we have Eric. You guys know Eric.
That
Yes.
guy's, yeah.
Yeah, who does like all of our graphics and cinematography, and that's it. Like for when it comes to our videos, that's what we have. Our teams are very, very small because it needs to still be. I'm not at that point yet where I can like give it to someone else. I don't trust anyone besides myself yet.
Right. Sure.
Maybe I will, but it's also important to me that it be what I want, that it is like that version of me that I get to share with others. And I don't want to dilute that at all.
Eric is an interesting guy. He's like the
Yeah.
fifth Beatle. You know what I mean?
He is.
Like this guy is
The secret sauce.
Yeah, in a way, like he works with all you guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty because he holds this insane camera.
Oh, yeah.
So he's a camera op, which is really hard because it's super heavy. He does cinematography. He edits. Does he edit or he makes all these crazy?
He does all the graphics,
Guys,
yeah.
Because like Michael really uses these really insane graphs and moving pieces. He makes all that.
Most of them. Some of the stuff Michael make himself, but everything that's like 3D generated is Eric. And especially with Michael's videos, Michael will be like, okay, now you need to create something that no one has ever made before.
Right.
So go do that. He's like, okay.
It's incredible what that guy does. Who makes the music?
So we have two sources. One of this guy is this guy, Jake Chudnow, that worked at Google with us. A lot of like all of the, really when you hear that drop thing, like every song that you think of Vsauce, that's like Chudnow. We've been using him forever.
Interesting.
Like the typical Vsauce music is Chudnow. And then we use a music library for everything else nowadays.
Wow.
What, like the YouTube one?
Oh, no. 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 No.
Tell me the name. I need music.
AudioNetwork.com.
Audio Network. That sounds like a audio jungle.
Yeah.
But they have a
AudioNetwork.com.
great library. Like basically all the music I use nowadays
Is it
for my
expensive?
videos. I don't know. We have a nice deal with them where we just have like a blanket license for all of our channels.
Cool.
It's maybe like a couple $1,000s a year, but we can use as much music as we want. But music is like, for us, music is so important.
No,
It
you're
is.
right.
I always really like the music in your videos.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
And your latest video was so good.
Oh, thanks.
Go watch it.
And smash that like button.
Wait, what was the newest one? It was the
It was
video,
how you make a
how to make a
Vsauce.
Vsauce 3.
Yeah.
Great video.
Which tells you everything you need to know.
Go watch it, y'all. But seriously, that you've been on fire. I loved your most all of your recent videos have been great.
Oh, thank you. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to like, I think the next one's going to be a little bit different because it's really just going to be like showing you shapes and how they work and like perception. But I don't know. My dream is always to make little movies, but those cost money.
Oh
So
yeah.
That's
Real
always like, even if
expensive.
it's but even if it's like $1,000, that's like, is it worth it?
Mhm.
Is it worth to spend $1,000 to make this video?
Yeah.
It's always hard. It's
Yeah.
like I love those opportunities, but also I love the challenge of making things for cheap. Like the Parasite video seems like a very expensive video.
Yeah.
The most expensive thing was Eric and I flying to Colorado. That was like the most expensive thing.
Where'd you find that shack?
That was just like on Airbnb.
You could Airbnb that little shack in the
Yeah,
middle
it
of
was like
nowhere?
$100 a night. We used it for one night, cost $100.
Wow.
Did you sleep there?
Oh yeah, it was incredibly cold.
I was like, you have to, that's the worst Airbnb. What were the reviews on that?
It was lovely. It was just like
It is
4
what it is.
degrees
No-
Fahrenheit outside.
yeah.
We had to do everything like with a fireplace in there.
That's
Very
incredible
cool.
because that looked like it looked budgeted. But I guess what, you got the drone, you got a nice camera, you just go to this cabin in the middle of nowhere and you just make it really well.
And you show in the latest video how the editing makes it look like so much more.
Yeah, and
like,
that's always the fun thing is this challenge of like, okay, I remember we were doing it and I was like, okay, Eric, we're gonna have all these things in the shot. Can you just like delete them?
yeah.
It's like great, and that makes it look so much better. We added mountains to make it look like we were more secluded.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's all these little tricks that, like, there's tutorials online to learn how to do them, and you just use that to emphasize what you're trying to create, which I think is why it's so, at least for my content, it's so important to have a structure. Because when I write it, I know exactly how I want it to look, so I know already, and I can talk to Eric about how we're going to do that. And he's like, okay, yeah, we can do this too. And I'm like, yes, got it.
That's so cool.
So yeah, I like it. Good work, Eric. I know Eric's watching.
Eric is
Actually,
great.
side note, I have to call him out a little bit. I was like, do you want to come to the podcast with me? He was like, yeah, I'd love
Oh.
to. And then this morning he was like, no, I don't want to go anymore.
Oh, wow. You know what, Eric? I thought you were a cool dude. I thought we were like pals in the Tesla club. But
Eric has a Tesla.
yeah,
You're dead to us, Eric.
you got to return the Tesla.
Yeah,
dude.
you don't
Sorry,
deserve
man.
it.
No, that guy's amazing. Shout out to him. I was curious because the Parasites video gave me the creeps. That shit made me very uncomfortable. Was there any like creepy, disturbing stuff you read that you didn't put in the video? Because
I mean, there's some things I didn't put in. There's like was it toxoplasma?
what's the deal with that? That's the one you get from cats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that one, there have been studies, nothing conclusive, which is why I didn't put it in. There have been studies that it might lead or might enable people who do have a tendency towards schizophrenia to just become schizophrenic.
Oh,
Not
God.
cool.
So there's things like that. Like it's always basically it's the parasite that most people have.
So, and for people who don't know, this is a parasite you get from cats that apparently 50% of Americans are infected with.
Yeah, because what it does, the reason it kind of exists is that it's in the feces of cats. And then like it gets into rats or mice. And then now they're a lot less scared of cats, and they kind of like go over to them because I believe it kind of changes the scent profile of urine so they don't smell cat urine like, oh, that smells like someone in heat. I'm gonna go get that, and then they get murdered and die.
What's the purpose of making?
It's always self-continuation, right? Because then the rat eats
new cat.
the mouse. Sorry, the cat eats the mouse or the rat, and then it gets the parasite again. So maybe it's an uninfected one. And that's the thing that's so interesting about parasites is that a lot of their purpose is self-preservation. It's to extend their life cycle. And their life cycle exists within, depending on the parasite, within multiple creatures. So like if it's in me, it might not be the last place that it goes. And this like isn't its final form.
That's so
it's just very interesting. And the thing that I loved, which I kind of end with, spoilers, is like, how do you know if you have one or don't? If their job is to survive, then would they ever make their presence known, really? So there could be ones in us that we just don't know about.
Right.
The one that I almost couldn't watch was the cockroach.
With the jewel wasp.
Yeah,
that one's nuts.
Oh my God.
It is like it's so much like the movie Alien. Where it's like, oh, it's just gonna burst out of your chest and then it's gonna eat you. But you did this yourself. Because in his mind, it's like, I'm doing this. This is my decision. It's not.
Oh man.
So it's like, how do you know that your actions are your own?
All right.
Right.
We've talked about sounding. We've talked about parasites infecting half the population.
Do you want to do this, by the way?
Talked about Grinder. I'm good. Thank you very much.
All right. It's mango flavored.
Is it mango? Dan vapes the office. So I'm vaping right now. Dan is a fat ripper, dude. And he rips unicorn milk, too. What flavor do you have in there?
Mango?
Oh, just mango. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like unicorn jizz mango. Because mango is quite boring
That's my
name.
second.
They're usually more colorful
mango?
than that.
I don't know. I just went to the store and the guy was like, oh, try this one. It was great. And I said, okay, thank you, guy at the store.
Right. How was it?
It's nice.
Good.
It's nice. I like it because, it's healthier than smoking the brown, as you call it, the cigarettes.
You smoke cigarettes. I guess people don't know that about you.
Well, let me, I guess this is, okay. So a little backstory. So I had cancer, blah, blah, blah. As you do. And then a year after treatment, all this stuff, I remember the doctor was like, you're cancer free. And I was like, the first time that I cried during the whole thing, I was like, and it was a huge relief. But then I started thinking about it. I was really pissed off, honestly. Because I wasn't like a bad person. I didn't smoke cigarettes. I wasn't like drinking all the time, doing all these crazy things. It was just a complete mutation, a random thing that happened. It wasn't hereditary. So I was kind of like, you know what? Screw this, man. Like, I've been healthy my entire life. I'm just going to smoke cigarettes. Because what the heck?
So you had no impulse to smoke before.
No. It was just like,
and then you're
this
just
sucks.
like, fuck God for
Yeah.
giving me this shit.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to smoke cigarettes now. So I started doing that for a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? I really don't want cancer again.
You were rebelling against God.
I was rebelling against something. It was just like, it felt unfair to me.
It is unfair.
No, like, I got cancer.
Cancer is so unfair.
It's brutally unfair. Man.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to smoke cigarettes and I'm going to live my life a little bit. And now I decided to not do that because it's stupid.
Now let's vape.
Because also, smoking cigarettes makes you feel like garbage.
And it will definitely, it has a high chance of getting you cancer.
What's the thing? Like, the experience is enjoyable, but there's literally nothing beneficial about it, like on a health level. It does, like, it can reduce stress. It makes you feel nice, so you have that moment. But you know what? This basically gives me the same sensation, and I'm not going to die immediately.
People debate if it actually releases stress. People say you create a need to release stress. You become addicted.
So it's kind of this placebo.
Yeah.
Right. Because there was no need to reduce stress. But then once you've been smoking for a while, you get addicted to the habit and the actual addiction. So people mistake themselves in thinking like, oh, I'm going to have a cigarette. It reduces stress. But they're only addressing the problem they created.
One thing I like about smoking, which if I worked in like a normal kind of job, I guess would be a better benefit. But when people smoke, it's the only kind of activity we can go, oh, I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette and just leave for 10 minutes. If you're like, hey, boss, I'm going to go dick off outside for 10 minutes. Like, no, you have to work. But if you have a cigarette, like, oh, of course, go smoke. That's fine.
In the army, almost everyone smokes. And I think that's why everyone wants to take a break all the time.
Yeah.
And it's really bonding. You all like go together.
Yeah.
And you do it.
But
Hila
so
was
bad for you.
Dude, Hila used to
She a
smoke
chimney?
big time when we met.
Don't tell my mom.
Oh, you just been outed? Hila smoked the hardcore ones. They had like this shit.
Like no filter?
No, not true.
Those were gnarly, man.
Were you like rolling your own?
Everyone in the Army smoked these really cheap, super heavy-duty ones just because they were cheap.
Yeah.
But I remember smoking one of those, and I was like, damn, you guys are hardcore.
I was never really a smoker though. I never like needed it.
Yeah.
It's just like
Just you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I want to join everyone.
I was just reminiscing on this this collab we did, and just talking about how we script versus how you script. Because when I had the duty in this video, here, let me play it, to do like one simple little line. Man, I didn't think we were going to do it.
I'm Ethan, and what you're looking at is an interpretation of
longest line
reality.
I've ever developed.
It's raw numbers
delivered on
that
script.
software converts into a visual representation of the moments captured. It's data.
And data can be corrupted.
You did great.
Dude, that took like 100 tries. We were there for so long. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna be able to remember this. Everyone's gonna go home. It's gonna be super awkward. And you guys were like in a hurry. I remember you had something to do. And you're like, well, if we can't get it by 1:30, we'll just have to come back and do it on Monday. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna have to like come back on Monday.
But you did. I mean, it's
so
a lot
bad.
to ask. Like you memorized that whole piece.
I don't know. I
You
feel like
crushed
other
it.
people are better at it. Like Elo's just like, oh yeah, this is no problem. I don't know. My memory's
You're
flipped.
kind of dyslexic too, and I feel like there's something there that you have more of a problem than usual.
I'm disabled.
And it's whatever.
No, I'm
Everyone knows.
dyslexic. Yeah.
No, but it's like I think you did a great job, and I was really excited that both you guys were in it.
Thanks, dude.
And
It was fun.
It was a really
Yeah, it
fun
was really
video.
cool. I agree. It was really cool.
I enjoyed it. So thank you. No, you're great. Hey, you're great.
Thanks, man. Thank
Hey,
you.
now.
I need you to walk around with me on a daily basis.
There was actually, I'm not trying to brag, but I just saw it up there. There was a video that I did with Jack Black
Yeah.
Oh,
where I remember he was like reading over the script with me, and he saw my monologues. He was like, "Oh, you memorize all this?"
It's pretty impressive.
And I was like, "I don't," but I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." And he's like, "Oh, I remember when Robert Downey Jr. he memorized monologues in a second." But he was really good at memorizing. Like he had a whole thing to do, and within 5 minutes he just knew it.
Wow.
I mean, I guess, do you get better at that, or are you just good at it?
No, I think
sure.
you get better. It's
Yeah.
like anything.
It's a
Right?
skill.
Yeah.
I honestly have no practice, really, because like I
Yeah.
said, that's just not how we shoot our videos. But I did it, and when I got it, everyone was just like,
Yeah.
he is capable of remembering 8 words in a row.
I believe, if I remember correctly, you ripped off your shirt at the end. You went, yes!
Yeah, that,
You were
I
just
do that a
covered in
lot.
oil
I do that a
already. I
lot.
don't know why.
The shirt budget.
That's why you had to make a clothing company.
Yeah.
There's so many shirts.
You know what's funny, though? I do say this about Teddy Fresh. It's just an elaborate ploy from Ela to get me to dress better. I think
It's
that's
working.
I think that's really
Maybe.
all Teddy Fresh was
I never
meant to
thought
do.
about it like that, but
I was considering wearing the tracksuit.
Yeah.
I was gonna wear that today. But I'd had this whole thing, which I kind of feel guilty about now. But I was like, is it kind of like wearing your own shirt, like performing as a band, like going on stage with like your own Blink, like I'm Blink 182 and I'm wearing a Blink 182 shirt. And I don't want to like seem like too much of a fanboy.
That's okay. It would have
So-
been. It's good either way.
It's good
happy.
either way.
I felt guilty about it because then I saw like everyone out there is wearing
I
Teddy
know.
Fresh.
Listen, we know you rock that merch, bro.
I also feel guilty
We
because
know.
like I'm wearing it all the time, so every photo of me just has it on.
It's awesome.
I
It's
I'm like,
fucking awesome.
no, it's
It's
not
sick,
on purpose.
dude.
It's just,
It's like
Are you kidding?
the
We love
best.
that. Yeah.
oh, well, thank you.
love
Well,
that.
it's so good though. Like I just enjoy wearing it. TeddyFresh.com
Thank
for
you.
all of your clothing needs.
Yes. Let me ask you this.
Yes. Let's
We
get deep.
ask all of our guests this at the bottom of the show.
Okay.
It's okay if you don't have one.
Yep.
Because not everyone does. I don't. Do you have any ghost stories or paranormal experiences, UFO visitations, aliens visitations, anal probes, sounding? Did an alien sound you? Did you see a ghost? Whatever happened. Have you had an experience like that?
alien
Oh man,
sounding.
yeah. Since we got super specific, an alien did sound me once.
Have you ever been sounded?
I've been rusty tromboned by an alien. His name was Michael. It was really weird.
Wow.
He was, like,
Was
"I'm
he
an
wearing a
alien."
sweater?
But what is an alien? He's like, oh, Vsauce, you got me again. No, so yes, I have some experiences with these things.
Really?
When I was a young boy, about 5 years old, I was setting up Halloween decorations, and a UFO flew over our house. And there was a forest across the street, and like flew over the forest. And I saw it, and I went
Did other people see it?
and was like, "Mom, Mom!" But it was gone by that point. My mother actually believes that she has been abducted.
What?
She's a strong believer in that,
Whoa.
and she would sleep when my dad would be out of town. She would sleep with a knife under her pillow
Whoa.
because she thought that maybe the aliens would come back
Oh my
and
god.
take her.
Holy smokes.
Then she always would be like, "I felt like there was a presence in the room last night."
So can I ask,
She's weird.
do you, can I ask, how do you corroborate those paranormal experiences? Because you're a very scientific
Yeah.
and logical person. How do you corroborate those two experiences?
I think, well, one, I was 5, so my memory could be hazy because like our memory works that every time we remember it, imagine a VHS tape. When you remember it, you're remembering it the last time that you remembered it. So there's little inconsistencies. Things change.
It's like a
in the
phone
same way
call,
that a
telephone.
VHS tape will deteriorate the more that you watch it. That kind of happens. So who knows if I actually did? I think that I did, but I don't know if I did. I strongly believe when people see UFOs that it's just some military plane or something like that. Because I mean, there's just a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues when it comes to space travel. I don't think that an alien would like come here. But who knows? They might. I do believe that we're not alone in the universe, but I find it hard to believe that they would be able to get to us at any point in time, really.
I agree with that sentiment.
Because unless they are so advanced, they like travel near the speed of light, in which case, even if they could, by the time they got home, time still is the same for their home planet. So like, cool, we're going to travel this distance. So it's going to take 20,000 years on our planet, but for us, because we're traveling at this speed, it's only going to be 20 years.
Right.
Time they get back, it's going to be 40,000 years later. Everyone's dead. Anyway, sorry. When it comes to ghosts and things, I do remember one moment. It was Christmas morning, and I woke up, and I went into the living room where the Christmas tree was, and it was pitch black. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I saw my brother in the corner, and his back was to me, and there was like this weird fog around him. And I went over to him, and I was like, Adam, what are you doing up? And he turned around, and he just didn't, he like had a giant mouth as a face. Now,
What?
if this was real or just a dream, I don't remember anymore.
How old were you?
I was probably, this was like 5 or 6 still.
How did you react?
I like ran back into
That
my
was a
bedroom.
spooky year for you.
It was. But I had these things, remember, like I was in my bed laying and I saw a shadow. But who knows? You have an over-imaginative imagination. I don't really know. I also don't believe in ghosts, really. I have a lot of personal theories about that stuff. I don't think ghosts are real. I think, if anything, I'm not like a big spiritual kind of guy, but I do think, if anything, when we see these apparitions, that they might be just beings of a higher consciousness. Because if you think about it, at some point you don't need a physical form if you're just like pure energy, or like you know everything. Like if you can actually conceive of what is nothing, then maybe you don't even need a form. So maybe that's what we see, and because I always like to think about alien worlds, that we understand what things are because we have a very geometrical idea of everything. Like everything is a shape, right? You have a certain form, and your form is created by lines. So if we were to see something that didn't fit within that construct, we would have to put it in that to be able to actually see it. Right? Just the same way that we can't see like dark matter, we can't see spectrums of light or color. Maybe there's certain things that we just can't see, and we don't know how to process it.
Or it's like that classic experiment with 2D world, right? Where if a 3-dimensional creature goes into flat world, it would just appear as a slice.
Because that's like, you just can't comprehend it. You can't, how do you visualize it?
That's interesting.
So that to me is kind of, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just, because there could be other things around. There's so much that we don't see that maybe we get little glimpses.
The thing that throws me off about ghosts is that it seems to be happening to the same people. Like I feel like 50% of the people are like, I've never seen a ghost and I want to, but I've never had it. And then the other 50% is like, I see ghosts all the time.
Well, my counter to ghosts would always be, why don't we see the ghosts of animals? Like, why are there no animal ghosts? Why aren't they just chilling around? Why do we only see people, like specific people?
Right.
Like, shouldn't there just be ghosts everywhere?
Yeah.
All over. There's more people that have died than have been alive. Like, shouldn't we just see ghosts all over the place? So I'm very skeptical.
And
Again, I don't want to
all
say.
happen to be from like 1950.
Yeah, it's like a specific time.
None of them from like Genghis Khan.
Or like the
anything.
1800s. Yeah, we don't see like a caveman walking around.
Right.
Or cave woman.
That would be cool.
Or cave they,
people,
whatever you
please.
want. Yes. Just smoking the
People of
cannabis.
cave.
People of cave.
People of cave.
Cave origin. Native cavemen.
So I don't know. I don't ever want to dismiss something immediately, because who knows?
Right.
You know, like we find out things all the time. We didn't even know what DNA was until like 70 years ago.
I agree about aliens, though. It seems so, with our current understanding of physics, it seems super unlikely that someone would go interstellar to come peep us out.
Well, there's also a lot of, again, there's so many things we don't know. Could it be that there's a wormhole we don't know about that they traveled through? Like, because if you think about, is there a piece of paper? Let me use a dollar bill. Okay. So if we take time, and let's say like to get from, this also in the movie Event Horizon, which I learned this, you go from like point A to point B on a straight line, it's going to take you longer. But if you fold time,
Right.
Yeah.
then you can just go right there.
And then
So-
do you have the time dilation issue if you do that?
I don't know. I would assume not, because time dilation happens from traveling at speeds close to or near the speed of light.
So then you zip on through the galaxy and it's all
You're just
gravy,
there.
baby.
But also you have to think too, like there's just a speed limit to how fast communication can travel, which I talked about in a video called Traveling Light, where like I always love in movies, like in Star Trek, like, okay, like, hey, home base, we're like, the Klingons are attacking, send someone to help us. It's like, cool, that message will get to them in 40 years. Like, you'll be dead. Everything will be done by the time they actually get that message.
You know what was a really cool answer to that paradox in Ender's Game? They said that, and it was later confirmed by this thing called coupled, what is it called? Coupled particles, coupled atoms.
Yeah.
This weird phenomenon where two particles or atoms get joined, and if you put it on the other side of space or wherever, they move in sync together, regardless of the space between them. And so, like, theoretically, that could be used for something like that, could be used for deep space communication.
Well, the thing, everything's theoretical, but there's, I mean, again, it could all be plausible. We just don't know because there's so much more that we have to discover.
Yeah.
Which I think is just, I don't know. I'm excited. I would love to. Would you go to space? If you had like the choice, the option, would you go
Like just
on like a one-way
travel?
trip or
one-way
Like a
trip?
holiday?
If someone was like, Hila, we can send you to Mars, but you can never come back.
I would not.
probably not.
I'd let
No.
someone else do
Because-
it. We've got the internet. I'll watch from home.
If I had nothing going on in my, I think we've also talked about it before. If I had nothing going on in my life, I would probably.
You think so, really?
If I had nothing, I didn't have you.
How do you define nothing?
Like a meaningful relationship,
Or a job that
I care about. I don't know.
You're
If I was
flipping-
like desperate, you know.
You're working at a cafe or whatever. I don't know. I'm not. It's a perfectly fine
What
job.
do you have
I'm
against
just
people
saying.
who work in cafes?
What job can I say that doesn't offend someone? You're
No,
shoveling.
I was working at a cafe, so
you're-
you're not offending me.
you're
I had
picking up
nothing at that
elephant shit
moment.
at the circus. There, nobody's offended, right?
I'm sure that's a fetish.
Who there?
Someone likes that.
I don't think I would. I just
Really?
don't think I'm that brave. Honestly, I'm a coward.
Hmm.
I'm definitely a coward.
I mean, I wouldn't do it
By nature.
either. Not if it was a one-way trip. It's like, what am I going to learn? What am I going to? I want to experience it with someone. That'd be nice.
Right. Well, you'll go. Well, you'll go by yourself. You
Yeah,
don't
if I had to
even
go by
get
myself.
company?
No.
Well, what the hell? That's. Would you go
This
by
is
yourself?
a hypothetical.
No.
We can. Okay. We can. Now you can
No.
bring 5 friends.
5 friends. You
You
get
can bring
s'mores,
your top
you
8
get
from
some chocolate,
MySpace.
some graham crackers.
All right,
Yeah.
the more we talk about it, I don't want to do it.
I'm out.
I'm out.
I do really want to go. Like, I want to stand on another celestial body, like the moon. Great, I could do that. I just want to be able to be like, oh, I stood on something else besides the Earth.
Yeah, that would be special.
Yeah.
Like, what a treat.
That would be.
The
very
people get to go
special.
to space. Like, so few have actually gone.
I do really hope that people go to Mars in our lifetime, and I will happily watch that journey from home.
I think it'll happen. And luckily, we have people like Elon Musk and such that are just like, screw it, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I know that Richard Branson. Like he's gonna do, I think at the end of the year, like the first space flight for people. They can like go. They're not gonna like go far
Oh.
out, but it's like
Oh, like a
then come back in.
commercial
Yeah.
space vacation or whatever.
where you
Space-
just like go out, and then you're like, oh, cool,
I would-
microgravity, boom, come back
I would
in.
totally love to do that. That'd be.
Gotta
you know,
get more
it's-
brand deals, son.
That's gonna be so expensive.
I wonder what's the price tag on that. Probably 100,000.
Probably a couple 100,000, I would say.
Apparently, you can already do it in like Russia for like $1 million.
Really?
Yeah, but you have to go through a lot of training programs.
Yeah.
Because remember when I was at space camp, ladies.
You've been to space camp and circus camp?
Yeah, you know, do all the camps. Also went to animation camp. What other cool camps did I go to?
Man,
I've never been to a camp.
I've not been to camp.
Ever.
I've not been to
Ever.
camp.
I used to be a camp counselor. That's how into camp I am.
Wow.
I was like, you know what? I went to this camp, and now I'm going to work at this camp.
That's deep.
I loved it. Do you know how
That's
many
deep.
kids I destroyed in dodgeball?
Oh man, that's the life. Just
So many.
beating the shit
So
out
many
of
hopes
them.
and dreams crushed by a red ball flying at their face.
Right.
It was love. I mean, I like the kids are nice. Some of them are Facebook friends with me now.
That's good.
But-
no hard feeling.
Yeah, it's all fun and games, but I always do counselors versus kids because I like to play not fair.
Right.
And the joy in my eyes. I don't know about theirs. Anyway, sorry. Aliens, ghosts, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know. I would love it. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. I could go on forever.
Well, I agree. I agree completely.
Also, I do think I need to eat. I'm like slowly dying.
You know what? I need to eat some nachos. And so with that,
I feel like everyone listening
we
is
all
gonna eat
need
nachos
everybody
today.
listen collectively. Let's all go.
This is nacho day.
Let's go eat some nachos.
I would
Guys,
enjoy that.
first of all, if you're not subscribed to Vsauce3, why not? What the hell are you doing? go get a plate of nachos. But first, subscribe to the Vsauce 3. Go get some nachos. Come back and watch some Vsauce 3 videos while you eat nachos.
Thank you.
Jake, thanks. Thanks for coming, man. It was a joy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This
Appreciate
was so much
you.
fun.
Everyone watching, thank you so much for enjoying your Friday with us. It's Friday, right?
It is.
I'm so
It is Friday.
out. Next week is going to be it's going to be a long one, but I'm excited. I'm super pumped. I hope to see you guys, have you guys along for the ride. Monday we've got a special episode planned. Hope you guys can join us for that at the usual time. Wednesday is the live super live show with Post Malone. Friday is Bob Saget. Guys, I'll see you there. I love you. Appreciate you. Can't wait to see you guys live, man. It's going to be weird and wild. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Shredder says hi.
Shredder.
Make sure if you're going to sound, just make sure to clean the tube first. You
talk
gotta
about
you have to be sanitary while you're sounding. And with that, I say, see you guys next time.